Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101, the podcast that covers the world of gaming from an achievement hunter's perspective. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof, and this is level 159. Joining me tonight is Big L.
Why, hello, Kenny.
Why, hello to you too. KooshMoose.
Hello.
And RockerDude5012.
Howdy doody.
It's
howdy doody to you
time.
too.
It's howdy doody time.
I can't believe we've been doing this for 169 minus 10 episodes.
Oh.
Ha! Now that's staying in the episode.
That's gimmick infringement, my friend. 59 is not
I didn't say a
quite
copyright.
69.
That's why he said the minus 10 part.
Math.
Maths.
All right.
I like math.
Let's get started. Let's jump right into the news/topics of discussion. We have two questions that kind of go hand in hand, so we'll discuss these. The first one is from Retro Chief. His question is, or his Patreon comment or whatever, it says, I'm curious, if you could ensure a series would never have another sequel, which series would it be and why? And then to tack on to that, Death Dealers asks, if you could remove one game from a series to make the entire series as a whole better, which game would you remove? So, Nate, let's start with you. What answer you got?
I knew it. I have Skeptical Mario's answer. And his answer is Saints Row 4 kind of wrote the series into a corner. What with the whole Earth being destroyed thing, spoiler alert. I wish they wouldn't have escalated it quite so hard. I also hear Dead Rising 4 evolved the series in an unpopular way. I'd like a do-over of that. Finally, let's remove Bloodstained Ritual of the Night and stick with the classic Castlevania-style Curse of the Moon games. Retro is better-ro.
Now, getting rid of Ritual of the Night. L, what's your thoughts?
Well, I haven't...
Isn't that the one you go to?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Bloodstained was the spiritual successor done by the guy who did the Castlevania games. So that is a
And it was kind of slow. It was kind of plodding, too, right?
I haven't played it, but I've heard it was good.
Well, I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was plodding.
Ah.
It just felt kind of tanky a little bit.
I mean,
But,
it kind of reminds me of like the ukulele situation where the first one was completely different than the second one. Oh, my bad.
yeah, you're bad. Exactly. So if we're talking about... So I didn't like the first question because I could not answer that. If I play a series, I can't think of a reason that I wouldn't want to keep playing that series. Or actually, it was more like, if I don't like a series, of course I'm going to cancel that series. So Halo, you're gone.
Screw you, Nate.
Madden, you're gone. All these things I don't care about. I joke. I'm actually kind of interested in Halo. So instead, I was thinking about, a game series that I do like, but I would like to stop playing. So that is clearly Paw Patrol. I like
But
these
last
games.
week,
Wait a
I
minute.
like these
That's
games.
not where I thought that was going to go.
I like them, but it's beginning to become a little bit embarrassing explaining, purchasing these games and having them sit on my shelf and then having my daughter not play them. That's the embarrassing part. So yeah, it would
That's amazing.
be nice if I didn't have to explain that. And then, yes, if I could remove one game from any series to make the series as a whole better, I would, of course, answer with the most original answer, Ukulele, where you take out the first game and we get more of the series just being the Impossible Lair and those types of games, because it is so much better than the original Ukulele. In my opinion.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, just two games even qualify as a series, really. Come on.
yes.
I think yeah.
Wow. Oh.
I would say yes.
I think it's like the minimum requirement for a series, right?
I would say 3, but okay.
It's a trilogy.
It is.
No, you just need more than one in the same.
There's
Two
two
orcs.
Angry Bird movies, so that's your
Best series ever. Damn it.
Wait, there was a second movie?
Yeah.
The first one was so bad. I can't believe they made a second.
All right, stop it. Now, Now, Kenny,
Yes.
didn't we talk about this during our Scott Pilgrim session this week? We talked about...
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about how Halo and Gears probably should have just stopped at 3.
Oh, that's where you're getting at.
Yeah, not Angry Birds.
I know not Angry Birds.
I mean,
I don't want to talk about
I
Angry
do
Birds.
promote that movie quite a bit.
But that's not what I thought you meant. Yeah, I guess we did kind of
Continue
talk
on.
about
Why
this.
would you kill Halo at 3 when it was at the pinnacle?
Because trilogies
No,
just
after
seem
3.
just seem to be it. You had 3 BioShock games, you had 3 Mass Effect games, and then people don't like Andromeda.
Hey now.
It just seems like 3 is the magic number. Now Gears 4 and 5 are pretty polarizing. Achievement lists aside, I would think people liked 1, 2, and 3 and didn't like Judgment. Halo 1, 2, and 3, but people did like Reach, but then 4 and 5 are looked down
I liked
upon.
ODST.
ODST is cool.
I like ODST now too. I didn't at the time. I do now.
So is it?
So Halo
Yeah.
or Gears
Well-
5 is basically Gears 3 2. So that should be like the best one again, right? Does that hold true?
Definitely.
Okay.
He has no idea. He hasn't played it.
You have to
But
get
yes,
through the bad.
Gears 5 is very good.
You have
Oh,
to get through
okay.
the bad trilogy to get to the good trilogy.
All right.
Halo Infinite's going to redo it.
Speaking of bad,
Yeah, totally.
Ahaizo says, "Can't think of any I just want to end, but I'd remove Final Fantasy VII, not because it's bad, not because it's bad, but because people often look at it through extremely rose-tinted glasses, and it isn't uncommon to see people compare other Final Fantasy games or RPGs in general to it from the view of it basically being a gift handcrafted by the gods." Now, we've definitely talked about this before, but
Yes.
but
I can understand that point
I
of view.
mean, before we had 7, us Americans had 1, 4, and 6, which was our 1, 2, and 3. And that's a trilogy, and that's it. Done. 7 didn't need to exist. You were right, Heizo. I knew it.
Hey.
I mean, I get his reasoning, I guess, but doesn't that just change like all of history if Final Fantasy VII doesn't
totally.
happen?
Without Final Fantasy VII,
no.
I know that at least
Yeah, there's no 8.
changes the
There's
games
no
that I
8 with
play.
no 7. I mean, I don't just
No.
mean that in a numerical sense. I mean, like, I don't think the series continues.
Well,
Definitely, it doesn't go in the direction it does.
In a series that long, I think you do have to consider the subsequent iterations after the one you remove. Yes, he's changing
8
gaming.
would have looked.
now wait. Well, wait a
He
minute.
probably would
Did
look
you ask
more
the
like
se-
6.
Did you ask the second question? Because that more answers the second question. Did you ask
Yeah.
the other?
Yeah, I asked both. Or
Did you?
Well,
read both.
You might as well repeat the question at this point.
I don't remember what
Okay,
we're talking about.
I know I read both of them.
Where are my
But yes,
pants?
I will read both of them again. So the first one was from Retro Chief. It says, if we could ensure a series would never have another sequel, what series would it be and why? And then from Death Dealers, which is kind of like the same question, is if you could remove one game from a series to make the series as a whole better, which game would it be?
All right. So
Okay.
in that case, Ahaizo's just trolling. Like I think 7 is overrated also, but to remove it entirely is a little much.
It would not make
I
the
can see what he
series
means.
better.
No, it wouldn't. I would remove. This might be unpopular with the people that play them, but I would remove the online games, which are I think 11 and 14.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
But the people that play that have probably been playing those for a decade or more and just play that and only that. So they'd be very upset with that. I wish those had their own numerology.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I get what Ahaizo means on this one, because if you remove Final Fantasy VII, the series does change as a whole, and like it just kind of, assuming it would just stay in the retro Final Fantasy style. But then again, like I don't know, that's so hard to answer because I'm such a Final Fantasy VII fan. Like that game really just hits that changed my life when it comes to games and how I play video games. So that's also kind of hard for me to answer. Well,
I have some more thoughts, but we'll. Corey, you want to read another one?
Well,
I do. Straight from the mouth of Eruderic, he says, a game to not get a sequel. The obvious answer is any sports games. We've been at the stage for years now where a game update would bring rosters up to date, but obviously that doesn't bring in the money. And he kind of stole my answer because that's exactly what I would say. I don't play a lot of sports games, but I think a yearly release is stupid with them. I think that they could make just as much money, maybe more, if they charged for roster updates. The hardcore would get it.
yes.
And even the casual players would be more likely to get that instead of where I think that they probably now get them every few years, if that. They might even wait till it's on, EA Play or something like that. I think if you just made Madden, FIFA, no numbers, no years, that's the way that it should go. But I don't play those games, so I don't have a whole lot of
There's still
balls in those
lots
sports.
and lots of people that buy them yearly.
I think there's a lot, but I
can think
there's
of multiple people.
I think there's just as many who don't.
I can also think of two people off the top of my head that don't actually, that I really wouldn't consider like a gamer, but they will every single year buy Madden and Call of Duty
See, I don't
without
know.
fail.
We might have to
I don't-
ask.
I would need a sports fan for sure.
We might need to ask Freaky Row or something, and I think people still line up at GameStop at midnight launch to get Madden and to get NBA 2K.
I think so too.
I
Oh man,
definitely
those people are crazy.
and that, much like I was saying with Final Fantasy Online, I think those people are casual gamers and they will play the heck out of those games for a long time. And I don't know if they would go online and purchase a $30 roster update the same way. I don't know. We don't know that.
I think they would. I think they would be okay with that, and I think that would allow the developer to make big improvements over a 2-year period or a 3-year period if they just put out roster updates. But that wouldn't work for something like a UFC, where just recently, like the calf kick has become a huge factor. Like the rules in football and baseball don't really change, but the meta of kicking in the calf is huge for UFC now. And like that was not something that was present like even like 2 or 3 years back. So like that would kind of change the game to the point where they'd have to change it. That's not like something you could download. It's just like a roster change. That's more of like a mechanical.
It's called a hot fix patch.
Well,
See, we're getting to a UFC elitist right now.
You might be able to patch it.
They could do the same thing with WWE. You just have WWE. 2K forever.
I was talking about real sports.
Now, WWE 2K20 was so poorly received that they skipped 21, and the next one's going to be 22. Would you be okay with an every other year release?
I think, like Koosh said, they would have to showcase some kind of formidable change to the game. I think if they made one good WWE game, they could do the same thing. I guess the roster's changed in that, but really, I would be in it for the creative characters if I would ever play those games.
When it comes to sports games, in my opinion, a sequel needs to be earned. Like the yearly releases of Madden or NBA or even WWE, like I know there are changes that come with every single yearly release, and Madden 15 looks way different than Madden 20. But like yearly, it's just these little teeny tiny changes, at least from someone looking from on the outside looking in, that's like it just doesn't seem like it warrants a sequel every single year. Maybe just one every 3 years, and the 2 off years you have just roster updates, and then on the 3rd year you have an actual sequel that introduces a new gameplay mode or what have you.
What would you guys do from an achievement standpoint if you're just going to add
title updates.
Title
those
update
people
or
don't
roster
care about
update.
achievements.
I mean, Zidalon
Those people. What do
understands
you
us.
mean, those people? No,
You
but
know
really,
what I
what
mean.
would you add a fresh 1,000 every year? Or
Seems to make sense to me.
I mean, if I was a developer of one of those, it probably would not cross my mind, and it would be nothing new.
okay,
That's a good question. And
It
would
was
you
me?
also be able to
Yeah,
like,
of course.
choose like the year that you're going to play? Like, be like, oh, I want to play the the 2020 teams, not the 2021.
Who would do that? I mean, I'm not a sports guy, but who would do that?
I don't think sports
what's-
guys
what's
for the
the-
most part.
What's the draw? I don't know.
So I would think that Saucy Slingo would much rather play with the 2019 Patriots than the 2020.
Ah,
Okay,
I
fair
get it.
enough.
I get it.
Well, moving on to the second half, answering the second question, Rick says, as for removing a game from a series, first thing that comes to mind is Nuts and Bolts from Banjo-Kazooie. Just a bad game all around. The DLC makes it unbearable. Unfortunately, Waka's Discord avatar is a constant reminder of it.
Thanks,
Mental
Waka.
Knight chimes in and says, unbearable? Ha. First off,
I get it.
I've only touched.
I get it.
I've only touched Nuts and Bolts. I've actually heard it's a good game. I just heard it's not a good Banjo game. But that's probably a really good answer for this question. And I have one that you would probably, FuFu. You said you couldn't think of one, and now you're going to be like, oh my gosh. I would remove, and I would almost remove like a whole, like generation of it. But if I had to pick one, I would remove Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 from the series.
Oh, yeah.
That
Good-
game
good one.
was
That's a good
terrible.
I forgot
And
that game even existed. Good one.
I'm looking at all the Tony Hawk games, and while they're not all gems, Wikipedia has it broken off by the era. I would completely remove the Robo-Moto era. So they made the hits
what?
like Ride, Tony Hawk Ride, Tony Hawk Shred, Pro Skater HD, which was terrible, and Pro Skater 5. That's the ones that they were responsible for,
Wow.
including some other
The
ones
same
that made
company did
mobile
all
and one that
those?
didn't release. Yeah,
It's like the B team.
Wow.
The really B team.
exactly.
That's not the B team. That's like a drunk D team. That's
Right.
awful.
They took over after Project 8 and Proving Ground, which I never really got into those. But up until Underground, I loved 100%. I really liked American Wasteland 2. Underground 2 was good for me. And then now, skipping them, the Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake is so good. So I think you're completely fine removing any of those games in between.
Good one.
While we're at
So-
it, do we really need any more Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty games?
You just go to
Now,
Assassin's
granted-
Creed and you release a new city every year.
See, Assassin's well, they still
Roster
haven't done. They still haven't done like a proper like ninjas, right?
Is there a
Haven't done
modern
that.
day?
Dude, I want a
Assassin's
Japan
Creed?
Come on,
setting to that.
caveman,
Ninja
caveman
Turtles.
Assassin's Creed. That'd be super cool. Future, they haven't done a future Assassin's Creed. That'd be awesome. I mean, there's room, there's stuff. They need to go back to the original Assassin's Creed storyline. Though.
I agree.
I just
They
want
go
them
back-
to stop so I can catch up a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's
20.
that.
20.
It's never going to happen.
Now, I haven't played the newer ones, so the last three.
Exactly.
So I don't know
The
what
ones that people say
formula-
are
sure-
good.
I'm sure
Exactly.
they're good, yeah.
Exactly. I like the old formula though.
And we could remove any of the Call of Duty games made by a Treyarch.
I'm okay with I like their story, but
All right, we got
So
a mental.
for
Oh, boy.
all right, hang on. I'm gonna answer now. So
Sorry.
for the first question, if you could ensure a series wouldn't have another sequel, I also didn't have a real good answer for this, but then as I started to think about it, I kind of think Mass Effect. Like, the trilogy was amazing. Andromeda, I didn't even want to bother with that because everything and what everybody says, it looked awful. And honestly, I don't know if we do need a 4. Like, more time in that universe, yeah, that sounds cool, but at the same time, like, I don't know if you'll ever be able to live up to the trilogy and just how freaking good that was. And then kind of like how we started talking about the Gears and the Halo trilogies, really didn't need more because those stories were wrapped up, and the fourth in the series just kind of tarnished it. So Mass Effect would be my answer for that. And Mental also to chime in on that, he said BioShock ended nicely, no need to touch that. Now, I haven't played the BioShock games, but from what I hear, everyone says the exact same thing, where the stories there are awesome, don't much need another one. I don't know if you guys have played that and can answer to that or any.
Well, what he meant to say was he would remove the BioShock 2 multiplayer. Thank you, Mental. That's exactly what you meant, right?
I'm not seeing that on the sheet.
But they did stop at 3, so that's not really an issue. So they did the right thing.
Right. No need for a 4 to ruin the series.
Exactly. All right. We have an achievement one now from our friend LAX Justa. For me, it's Gears of War. I love playing the story, but hate the achievements in the games. So much grind, yet I find myself still doing it. Please just leave it with Gears 5 and I would be happy. And remove Gears Judgment. I have not played it at all, but I hear it wasn't good, so if it's removed, I don't have to worry about starting it. Oh, that's how it works? Okay. I'll just tell you it's removed. As far as that goes, yes, the achievements, we got into that a week or two ago. It's a little overkill at this point.
That's the point, though.
But they want you to play their game.
And they also want you to look at the list and go, seriously?
I was going to say overkill is Halo.
But overkill. Good call. Gears Judgment actually wasn't that bad. It at least had 4-player co-op, which was fun.
Judgment wasn't bad. It's worth playing.
Yeah. But I see what you mean. From an achievement standpoint, 4 and 5 are definitely craziness. Because they kept adding on more and more and more. And some of them weren't even retroactive, and people just got really annoyed.
Right.
But I also love that original trilogy, and 4 was okay.
Oh, the original trilogy is so good.
Judgment was okay, but if they didn't exist,
I mean, or just to add achievements that don't need to be retroactive. Like, it's content specific, so it's not like, oh, and now you do 20,000 kills starting from scratch again. Like, that's just a weird decision.
Right.
All right, I'm trying to think if there's any other.
Now, my answer for which game I would remove from a series to make it better, I would remove Batman Arkham Origins.
Oh, good choice.
Have you played it?
Yes.
Well, there goes that argument.
Honestly, I don't think Origins is a bad game, but it is definitely the low of those games.
Now, remind me, in the series of the Arkham games, where did this fall? Chronologically.
Was it the third?
It's the third.
It was the third game that was released, but it was like the prequel.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you answered both my questions. Third out of fourth game, but first in the story.
Yes.
All right. So this is the only one I think out of that I haven't played yet. Is it bad? Like, why would you? I think a prequel would be cool.
It's now I'll let FuFu answer in a second. I don't think it's bad. I think it is. Of course, playing it now, we're playing the patched version. I know when it first came out, it was a buggy mess. So people who played it, as it was released, probably have a different, feeling about it than maybe, I certainly do, or people who are picking it up now.
Okay.
So, that I definitely agree. I played it day one. It was a buggy mess. Like I said, Origins isn't a bad game. Like, if it was just the low point of the 4 of them, like, without a doubt, that is the worst of them all. But as a standalone game, it's good. It's a good game, especially if you like the Batman like fighting style and whatnot. You'll enjoy it. But just in the spirit of the question, to make the series better, like if you were to pull Origins out, the Batman Arkham games are perfect in my opinion. Origins is just a low point. It just makes the series that much better. And I know that may not reflect a lot of people, because a lot of people might say get rid of Arkham Knight because of the Batmobile parts, but I personally enjoyed them. There was too many Batmobile parts, but I still enjoyed them.
All right. Thank you, patrons.
All right, and to go into our second topic of discussion, and this will definitely be the the Nate and Corey part of the show. There was an indie showcase game today for ID at Xbox, and they showcased quite a bit of games. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch this. Unfortunately, the work I had to do wouldn't allow me to watch it, so I was not able to. I didn't have time between when it came out and recording to watch it. Corey, what'd you think of the show in general? And is there any games you would like to talk about?
So the show in itself was not my favorite. The delivery was probably better than the other one we got in, I think, May.
Could have been much worse.
I didn't care for the host, and that was probably my biggest concern. I actually liked them up until a certain point. Like, of course, you're going to be fake and stuff. You're not going to really know exactly what you're talking about. I don't expect them to. But they came to one point where they interviewed Stardew Valley. Spoiler alert, that's coming to Game Pass. And so they interviewed the Stardew Valley dev, and they talked with him for, I don't know, a good 15 minutes or so. And then they said it was coming to Game Pass. Well, Stardew Valley's what, like, I don't know, 8 years old, 10 years old at this point?
No, it can't be that old.
2016, to do math. It's at least 5 years old. And the next game came on. They showed a trailer for it, and it's coming to Game Pass. And it's coming out today. So another spoiler alert. That's that library game, Library of Ruina. So out on Game Pass today, and they didn't even talk about it, hardly. They kept talking about Stardew, and it made me mad. And from that point on, the show was ruined. But as far as what the content they gave us and what they showed, the game selection did not appeal to me as the one we got before. Even the Game Pass section seemed really light. They actually showed a Game Pass trailer that only had, I think, 4 or 5 games on it. Only some of which had dates, and one of which was in March of next year. Then a couple more trailers came out, and they showed the Game Pass logo, so we're assuming that they're coming there. But otherwise, it was an okay show. Again, it was too long. How
long was it?
Started at 11:30 to 1. It's about an hour and a half, maybe slightly longer. They took a break. Again, I don't understand the break.
They took another break. Why did they do that?
Well, they only took one this time.
It was only one.
Well, at least that's better than last time.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it was kind of more of the same. They talked to some devs and stuff. They didn't pass it to as many people, which I think helped. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my thing. Go ahead, Koosh. What did you think of it?
No, I was going to say, yeah, the presentation I think was better this time. I think they learned a couple things from the last one. And yeah, they need to, number one, make it shorter so you don't need to take breaks. Like, I don't get that. That makes no sense. And yeah, I think definitely the selection that they showed this time was weaker. But, it is what it is. Those are the games that are coming out. We are getting the games that we saw last time right about now. So we are just swimming in Game Pass content and, indie games right now. We're drowning in them. There's so many. So what we're looking forward to, maybe not as good as the selection that was up last time. I didn't mind the presenters so much. Of course, I only heard about half of it this time, but they were fine, and they seemed, with the exception of Library of Ruina, or however you pronounce that, I was not around for that, so it was hard for me to see or speak to how they didn't know anything about it. But the one presenter, Pink or Strawberry, what was her name?
Strawberry.
Strawberry was so high on Stardew Valley that whoever came after Stardew Valley was going to get nothing. Like they were just going to be. It was a hard act to follow apparently with her as a presenter. So I feel bad whoever that was. but yeah, especially for a game that comes out today, like to not have anything about it, that's kind of weak. Yeah.
At one point they mentioned, "Oh, we can learn Japanese," talking about the library game, and then people in chat were like, "But it's a Korean game," and so yeah, it was.
I guess we won't be hosting the next one.
But yeah, we're not going to go through all those games. Maybe we should just run off the list of the Game Pass stuff.
I guess Strawberry was in a jam after that comment.
Hey-oh. So why don't you run down the Game Pass for us, Corey?
Yeah, I'll run down the list, and if any of these like spoke to you and you did a little bit more research, we can talk about them. But Origami 2, we kind of knew about that one. That's coming at some point. Evil Genius 2, that one looks pretty cool. You might have some words.
That looks great.
You might have some words about that one. Library of Ruina, like we said, that is out today. Pathfinder Wrath of Righteous. This was the one I saw the March date on. A lot of people excited about it. Not my jam, but that's coming. Paparazzi coming to Game Pass. This is where you take pictures of dogs and you can pet them.
Sounds awful.
That's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley, like we said. And the big one for me, The Artful Escape. This one we've seen for several years now. It looks beautiful. The music is probably what's going to drive the game, but that I think we knew about that coming to Game Pass. But if we didn't, now
we've known about that. We've known about that for a while as a game. I'm not sure about the Game Pass part. Of note for me, Paparazzi. My daughter saw that, so now I have to play that game, which is unfortunate because it didn't look great. And now it's going on the tag for sure.
Yeah, it's not photorealistic dogs or anything.
It's not. It is so not. Games that I was surprised by, Aeon Drive looks interesting. While I may not like the wall jump mechanic in that game, it reminds me of Velocity 2X. And it looks like a very cool, fast-paced, action-y platformer type game. Apparently it's got a little multiplayer. Not that I'll get anything out of that, but that game looks fun. Inked looked kind of interesting. I want to pay more attention to that. Lab Rat was a cool puzzler. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Sorry. Loot River, we saw before. Looks awesome. Ollie World. Can't wait to learn more about that. Planet of Lana is probably still my number one that's on this list. Yeah, probably, it's kind of like the inside ish game that's currently listed in this list. I'm not listing the other game that I'm really excited about. But Sam & Max Save the World Remastered came out today. $20. And then I think those are the ones that I was interested in learning more about, and they didn't have a whole lot of information on this, but they did list them in the Xbox Newswire article. So I hope that means that they're next up. They're coming up soon.
There is one that's not coming to Game Pass. I don't think you mentioned it. I don't know if it's the big one that you talked about, but I just kind of looked it up real quick. It's called the Anvil game.
Oh, no, I did think that looked cool, but no, that's not the one I was thinking.
Multiplayer, co-op, top-down, sci-fi, roguelike action shooter. Looks awesome.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that one was in a sizzle reel, and it just kind of flew by. I was like, what is that? Like, this Anvil game looks interesting.
Any of those words like resonate, look up Anvil. It looks cool to me. I'm going to try to get that on the Friday night group. They'll probably turn me down, but still, I'm going to try.
Evil Genius 2 looks great. Like, when I just watched the teaser trailer for it, honestly, when I was watching it, I actually thought that the same people that did that is developing this developed 2 Point Hospital, because it has the same art style and kind of goofiness to it. But it's basically, you're an evil genius. You got to build your lair and stop the forces of good from stopping you from carrying out evil. You train up henchmen and set traps, and it looks cool. That's something I'll be interested in. Did you guys see a date for that by any chance? Off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head,
I
no.
don't recall. It's been out. It's out on PC, so I can't imagine it's too far out on console.
Yeah, that was one of the ones they just listed without a date or anything. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
think
what I
Hillary Clinton's in it.
What?
as one of the evil geniuses, it looks a little bit like her. I think is that what they were going for?
Yeah,
I thought there was like a joke preceding that.
I was waiting.
like it's like one of those things. I think Mario said it in Discord. It was like any references is completely coincidental. Does not represent any real life people, but it definitely could be her.
That's interesting.
I
Al,
don't
did you
know.
see anything at Jingles Your Jollies?
Hey now. Yeah, early on in the presentation, there was a game called The Wandering Village, and that it looked like it took place on the back of a turtle, and it reminded me of Discworld, so it was cool. I didn't get a real sense of what the gameplay was going to be like too much, but that was the one that caught my eye. That looked cool. And that's about
Like a
it.
weird management-ish game. Like there was like some farming going on the back of that turtle.
Stardew Valley on a turtle. There you go.
Yeah.
Huh. Sounds like a ripoff of Avatar: The Last Airbender. For
Yes,
those that
of
understand
course.
that. For those that understand that reference. Corey, what jingled your jollies on this list? I know you've got a couple.
Other than the ones I've already said.
You did say them.
Not really.
I'm dumb.
Not really. The Artful Escape, Anvil, and then I've already been into Loot River. I'm ready for that one to come out. Those are
Ollie
like my
Ollie's
top
not
three.
doing it for you. I haven't heard you say anything about Ollie Ollie. Is that just not your type of
I've played
skater?
the other. No, I like Ollie Ollie. I've played the other two. I will play this one, but it just looks like more of the same. You know, I mean, it looks like the next iteration of it, but it's not my favorite skateboarding type games. Those almost endless runner side-scrolling ones, but it's a fun game. It's hard,
Yes.
fun to play, hard to master.
So, Nate, on the beginning of this section, you talked about, or you made mention that we're just swimming with Game Pass games.
Sure.
By any chance, do any of you know how many unique games are on Xbox Game Pass right now?
Yes.
I see Corey looking up, typing right now, trying to quickly bring up Game Pass counter.
478, maybe, give or take.
Yeah,
That's it.
that was my guess.
There are 478 unique games. That is ridiculous. For $15 a month.
And we got quite a bit of stacks, too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that is just remarkable. And the thing is, like, there's 66 games that are still underway that we know about, and that doesn't include anything else. And it's remarkable how, like, you see ads that say play over 100 games on Game Pass. They need to, like, change some of them ads up. We're almost to 500 games available on Game Pass.
That's crazy.
Pretty
Nice.
awesome.
And Halo's
Best
4 games.
value.
There is never a shortage with Game Pass. But, all right. Well, with that, let's get on to the game showcase.
I'm going to go first. I'm very upset.
Okay. Rant away.
What did they spell wrong this time?
Very mad. Very mad. Kenny, do you remember a game called Space Jacked?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed that game.
Right before recording, I
Uh-oh.
decided to check it out. And on my RTDL, I had to get to beat level 10 in the endless mode. So what this game is a Ratalaika game, and it is a tower defense game.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should have watched a video first or something, but it took me a little bit to get the hang of it. So it has a tutorial. It tells you what to do. There's 3 rooms you need to run back and forth between. Nate, did you ever play Meet the Robinsons?
I did.
Do you remember there was a mini game or like a bonus thing where you had to like shoot the hats and run back and forth between the 4 different rooms and shoot?
I may not have gotten that far into it. It doesn't sound.
It's
familiar.
like a separate mode you could access from anytime. Yeah, basically you just have to save the place from being swarmed by a bunch of hats, I think. Anyway, it reminded me of that. So you're not just trying to save one room, you're saving 3 rooms, and you have to run between them. And I think what the hook is, you're supposed to disassemble the ones you have and then bring them with you so you have enough materials to build it. So I was getting all kinds of confused. I just compared...
Or you just put them in the right place.
Yeah, maybe. I compared it with you. It looks like you did the story mode. I went right to the endless mode because that's what was on my RTGL, so maybe I should have done the story mode first.
So, just for a little bit more clarification, yes, it is a tower defense game, and like Elle said, there's 3 different rooms, but it's also like a kind of like a shoot 'em up ish. Like you have your character that runs between the rooms, and you can
shoot stuff too. Yeah.
You can shoot as well. So that's where the ish comes in. Well, step 1, did you put it on easy mode?
I noticed. I don't think you could do that in the endless mode. I did look at the menus. I didn't see anything. If you could, then
Okay, I couldn't remember. I assumed it was there. It was in endless mode. I don't remember. I know for a fact it was in story mode.
It looks like you got as far as I did to wave 10. There's achievements for wave 12 and wave 15 as well. Because I kept dying, and it shows you your friends list and your name was always above mine. I was like, damn it, FuFuCuddilyPoof did better than I did.
Yeah.
But eventually I got to level 10, but I died right away. So I don't know. I feel like getting to level 15 is going to suck.
Yeah, I know I played a little bit of the story mode. I did a couple. So, like, you have Act 1 and Act 2 of the story mode. Act 1 has 10 levels. Act 2 also has 10 levels. I know I did a couple of the missions. Went and did endless mode. Got to 10.
Yeah.
And I think I lost after that. I just couldn't get the rest of them. I'm like, man, am I missing anything? And then I went through and completed the story, and then I just never went back to finish the endless.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really think of any real advice to give you other than
maybe I'll
get good.
Watch some videos, and
I would imagine there's a video or some sort of guide that can help you. I don't remember. Good game though. It's not bad if you like these type of games.
No, it
was
actually pretty fun, and soundtrack was decent. It's one of these Retalaikas, though. The videos are all 2 hours, so it's definitely not super quick.
Oh man, I'm pulling an L on this game.
I know.
It says it takes 2 to 3 hours. I'm at 3.5, and I'm not even done it.
I'm
pulling an L.
I wouldn't count those times anymore. Probably took me that long too. Anyway, I was mad at another game from Zidalon called Escape Sequence.
Is it because you played it?
It's definitely because I turned it on. You are correct. Have you done this one yet, Corey? I don't think you have.
I'm off that
You're off
easy
the
gamer
Zidalon
swarm
train.
bandwagon.
Well, let me tell you how easy this gamer score is. It's one of those games where you can look at the solutions, a written solution, and it'll just say up, left, right, left.
See, now that's a kind of puzzle game that's good.
Yeah, great. But the game only has 15 levels.
What's the problem?
The problem is you could do the first 5 or 6 by yourself, and then the difficulty gets crazy. And on TA, there's a forum post with all of the things written out. I'm going to send it to you in Discord right now so you could look at it. And
level 10. Ugh.
Yeah, look at level 10. Yeah. Level 10 is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I went through it a couple times, and it didn't work, so I eventually wound up just going to the video and following the video, putting it on like half speed and just going along with it. If anyone figured that out on their own, I'm very proud of you. But yeah, I got very mad at this game. The good news is the achievement list is straightforward. All of the 15 achievements, all the 15 levels give you an achievement. Yeah, you found level 10 now.
Jeez, it was.
And then there's a random achievement for starting a level and then just quitting out. There's an achievement for that for some reason called Second Thoughts or something like that. It's also a little
My
frustrating.
question is,
Ju-
how are they
Yeah.
going to update it with the title update?
Yes, I was actually going to say that. This is one of the only Diddle-On games that's just at 1,000 and nothing else. I mean, they could easily just have push right, push left, or any number of stupid things they could add. But
So, just for clarification on what exactly Elle is talking about, you have like levels 1 through 9, which, like he says, left or up, down, left, right, or whatever. There's no more than 3 lines of text of directions where to give. You have level 10, where level 9 has 3 lines. Level 10 now has 12 lines of directions.
and there's no
And-
spaces or breaks.
Yeah. And then, like, level 13 has, like, 3/4 of a line of text. And then level 15 has, like, 3.
Yeah.
Has a little more than 3. So, like, yeah, I see what you're talking about, where the difficulty on level 10 just skyrockets.
Yeah, I think Devin was saying he stopped at level 10.
I can
This,
see why.
And
this is where I would actually prefer video. Somebody just
the video...
magically, calmly telling me, down, down, down.
I did get to a video, but...
All right, so now we need an ASMR version of this.
Maybe you could narrate. There was no sound in the video that I watched. It was just... I just had to follow and look what he was doing. So yes, I get mad at 2 games that should be easy 1Ks. I mean, Escape Sequence is at 1100 TA, shockingly. I guess people just can't be bothered.
Well, I mean, I can understand. I just looking at that level 10, I go, F that.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of hurts my eyes just looking at it.
And it didn't even work. And then you do it. I had to do it. I've done it twice now, the Win 10 and the Xbox. And it still sucked. Anyway, that was an L rant.
Okay, well,
Escape Sequence. Don't play it.
I guess I'll kind of continue on with that, with the mild rants anyway. So, I played a game. I played Katamari Damacy Reroll. So,
nice.
first
A
of
real
all,
game.
At least you
any of
pronounced
you
it
played the
correctly.
I'm sorry, what's it called again?
Damacy? I have no idea how.
I thought you said, damn it.
I thought I said, damn it.
Did I say it?
Katamari
No, I didn't
Damacy.
say.
Katamari, damn it.
Damn it, Beavis.
I mean, that's what I was saying while playing this.
Yeah.
So, have you guys played a Katamari game before?
No.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I played this one.
I've heard good things.
So, like, was it last week? It was either last week or the week before. I was mentioning how I've played games similar to this on mobile, and it was the kind of thing where I see the Facebook ad, I download, it's like, oh, this is fun. I play for an hour, delete it. So when I saw this game, I went, oh, this will be interesting. I'll play this. I'll give it a shot. This looks like the kind of like the perfect before bed type of a game where I could just do a level or two, especially on this where all the achievements are just beat the next level. Beat a level, get an achievement. Level achievement. Real easy. Oh, well, I was in that mood last time. I'm like, all right, let's try playing this. Well, first of all, this is the most Japanese game I think I've ever played. The only thing that is missing to be more Japanese is fan service. It is absolutely bonkers. I read some of the dialogue, and it is still just so drug-driven fever dream of a story that I'm like, okay, I don't even care. I'm just skipping a dialogue. I'm just going to play the game for what it is. Now, like I said, I wanted to play this before bed. Something that'd be just kind of a little fun, a little bit calming. It is not calming. It is. I was getting irritated trying to play this game because it has the worst controls I've ever played in my life.
What?
Like, it controls awful. I don't know who ever thought this was a good control scheme. It is terrible. Like, so if you don't know what this game is, I'm assuming all the Katamaris are like this. This is at least how this one plays. You have some sort of a ball, and your little character is pushing it, and as you roll over objects in the world, those objects stick to your ball and you grow in size, and as your ball gets bigger, you can roll over bigger objects, and the bigger objects stick, so on and so forth. And the game is basically get to X size in Y amount of time. Simple enough. Problem with it is the controls. To go forward is not just push the left thumbstick forward and turn using the right thumbstick. No, you have to push both thumbsticks up to go forward. Obviously, pulling both down goes backwards. And then to turn left, you hold the left thumbstick up, and I was pulling down on the right thumbstick to go left. And then to go right, I was pushing up on the right thumbstick and down on the left, or some sort of bonkers combination of that. I'm not even sure what I did to try to just turn the stupid ball. I was fighting with the controls the entire time. It was beyond irritating.
These are literally tank controls because you're controlling the treads of the tank. So you got it right. That's how you turn left and right. You switch the up and down of the thing.
It is dumb.
Yeah.
I was even, while I was playing this, I'm like, this is tank controls, right? Like, I'm remembering this correctly. This is tank controls. And I'm glad you said that, because now I know I have confirmation of what I was thinking. It is terrible. Why would you put that as a control scheme for this? Other than to just, piss someone off.
Well, apparently
that works.
Apparently, in newer versions and ports, they changed the control scheme, but they didn't for this one. I think I was reading about that. Matriarch, unfortunately, knows a lot about it and is not here to talk about it.
It's a damn-y shame.
Yeah, I think other ports of it, or other versions of it, or other continuations in the series or whatever, do have better controls. But this is the classic control scheme. That's kind of the fun of it. Is the frustration?
That's the fun of it?
Yeah.
The frustration is the fun. It's that hot sauce fun.
So I assume you like Dark Souls then.
I've actually not played Dark Souls, but
okay, never mind. Yeah, I played the first 3 levels, and like I said, I like the idea of the game. I think that is enjoyable. It's just the controls of it was just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I think this game, at least my memory of the first time playing it, is that you get far enough into the game just by struggling, fighting the controls, fighting them. But then when you go back to it, like the earlier levels, after you've been struggling with the controls, they kind of make sense. And you kind of, then when you start playing from the beginning through again, you get like a second layer of skills because now you have mastered the controls for basic stuff, and you can kind of pick up the tips and tricks as you're going through. So if you were to start that first level over again, it would probably be a little easier, probably be a better time.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Like, my ego is not big enough for me to, deny failing on the very first attempt, because I was fighting with the controls so badly. It was just...
I only played 1 level. I didn't know you could fail.
Yeah, you can. I did.
Is it timed or something?
It is timed.
Health? Okay.
Yeah, it's the time. Whatever the first time level is, I wind up failing that.
Okay.
Because I was fighting.
Maybe I didn't make it to the time.
I did the first 3 levels.
Okay.
But yeah, so I didn't hate. I'll also be honest. I was cranky going into the game. I wanted something relaxing, and it wasn't relaxing. And this also wasn't the kind of game where I got angry at it and I immediately uninstalled it, like other games that make me angry that I can't wait to uninstall, like Scott Pilgrim. So I'm going to give this another try.
Oh boy.
The annoying part of this game, or the real annoying part of this, is I kind of went back and forth between playing this or another game, and I want Nate to tell me about Dodgeball Academia, because I almost played that game. I'm like, I'm going to play Katamari. So, just tell me, I chose wrong, didn't
I was going to say real quick
Yeah.
that this game is on Game Pass and
Yes.
10 also. Stack.
Everything that we're talking about is on Game Pass, minus what L played.
Yeah. The 3 of us played Game Pass games.
Fine.
Yeah. Nate, tell me I chose wrong.
Which is funny because L tells us to stop buying games, yet he plays games you have to
buy.
buy.
I didn't buy any of them.
Getting on Game Pass.
I didn't buy.
I'm just saying. Isn't it ironic?
I try to help the people who like the easy gamer score.
It's like 10,000 spoons.
When all you need is something.
Just saying. Yes, so Dodgeball Academia or Demia, depending on how wrong you pronounce things.
Damia.
Is
like My Hero Academia.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what I was thinking when I saw that first. Now, we talked
I knew
about
you
this,
were, you weeb.
We talked about this a while ago when it was in Coming Real Soon, I believe. And
like 2 weeks ago.
I am happy to say that I like this game. And my excitement for it, well, I shouldn't say my excitement. I wasn't overly excited, but my interest in the game kind of panned out. And yeah, I do enjoy this. This is an RPG. This is, once again, Dodgeball Academia. This is an RPG game that I actually enjoy. Unlike the last like 2 or 3 RPGs I've started, I really enjoy this, and I'm going to see this one through. The mechanic, or the fighting mechanic, is all dodgeball. So if you remember the classic NES games, Super Dodgeball
Totally.
and Super Volleyball, they're very similar to that in terms of like the special attacks that can happen. Different people that you get on your team will have different types of attacks. So not only is your dodgeball just going straight or has like a fire effect, you have one character that when they throw the dodgeball, it kind of has like this wave pattern. And then you have another character who, when they block, or when they go to catch the ball, instead of catching the ball, they just kick it back at the other person on the other team. So there's all kinds of variety. It's not just I'm going to throw or I'm going to catch. I'm going to throw or I'm going to catch. There's all kinds of crazy attacks that happen. Sometimes the balls change speed as they're coming at you. And you have different, let's say you have 3 opponents on the other side. They can all be throwing different types of attacks at you. So one of them is like a super fast one. One of them is a very slow one. One of them is a projectile that isn't visible, but you can see the shadow. And it's all crazy. And sometimes the dodgeball rules change. Sometimes you're playing Greek dodge. Sometimes you're playing regular dodge. So like
The heck is Greek dodge?
Greek dodge when I was growing up is if you get out, you go behind the other team. So you're playing like in a rectangle.
That's the best.
Yeah, when you knock someone out, they go behind, and now you're sandwiched on your side.
Wait, what?
You're
Where?
trying to knock out the normal people, and then the people behind you can't knock out. You just have to dodge them or catch their balls. You can't knock them out anymore. They're there. So
that's the best rules.
And that changes. Like each encounter is different. Some encounters are in a big grassy field, so you can't really see the ball. You can't see the projectile. So that kind of changes things up. There's another one where you're in like a parking lot and there are cars coming and you have to dodge the cars as you're going. You have a little bit of time to kind of move to the other side.
You can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball.
Exactly. Maybe that was the inspiration for that. I don't know. And the story isn't that bad. It's not super deep. You're basically a kid that goes to this school. And you are just trying to become a really good dodgeball player. And then you eventually, the whole thing kind of revolves around this tournament that the school starts to receive funding so that they can stay open. And that's pretty much the plot. And there's some mysteries going on. And the game does a really good job of teasing out chests that you can't unlock, floors that you can't go to just yet. But you can see that you're going to go to them soon, so there's like this feeling of progression. There's optional battles, but really, if you're playing the game the way it's intended to be played, you want to do all those because you can power up and level up, get items, things like that.
It's like Pokemon Let's Go. You can see the battle and you can choose to do it. And sometimes if you cross somebody, you have to cross them. They're going to battle you.
Yeah, some battles you absolutely have to do. Others you can kind of avoid if you just want to, skip them and just move on to the next thing. The achievements are it's a mix of progression. There's a mix of collection. There are some. I should say there's one missable that you would have to start a whole new game over if you missed at the time. There are a couple S ranks, things you have to do for challenges, and I believe that those challenges, once you've unlocked them, or once you've gotten to a certain point in the game, you can return to them and do them again. Defensive, so dodging the ball, and then there's like an offensive one as well. Now, there is an accessibility option in this game. So when you're in combat, you can go to this menu. I think you might be able to go to the menu at any time, actually, and change the accessibility options. You can turn your damage to 0. Now,
Damage taken.
Wait, what?
You can turn your damage taken to 0.
you can turn the damage taken that you get by getting hit all the way down to 0. Therefore, every combat becomes really boring, and there's no challenge to the combat. It's basically just, okay, how long is it going to take me to kill these guys? They can't do anything to me. So I don't even have to dodge. Don't even have to catch, whatever. You can also turn your damage up, I think, to 3 or 4 times.
400%.
Roughly. Yeah, 400%. Weird. Corey seems very familiar with this menu.
That makes more sense.
Surprising no one. So I found that the way to enjoy the game, for me, was to leave those accessibility options off until you need them. Things like the dodging challenge are ridiculous. You have to last a minute when these things are just flying all over the screen. And maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe you want to put yourself through that. I did it once or twice and said, okay, no, I'm going to turn damage down to 0. Wait a minute. Once the clock clicks over for a minute, then turn it back on, die, and you get an S rank. And you do that 3 times. And then you do the same thing for, I guess, the offensive one, which I haven't done yet. I might end up doing that one the same way as well. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this game. I really like the combat mechanics. I really enjoy the dodgeball mechanics of it. I would play a game of just that. It's fun. But it's wrapped up in this RPG that I'm actually enjoying the RPG. And that for me is...
That says a lot right there.
Yeah, it does. Because the last couple that I've played just haven't pulled me in. This one, definitely the RPG-ness is fine, and I'm okay with it. I'm interested, and like I said, I'm going to finish this game. What about you, Corey? I know you have finished it.
Oh, I have. For your listening pleasure, I experimented in the accessibility mode. I completed the game, and I could tell you about it. I played this game legit less than I did Bloodroots, to be honest. Right from the start, basically. I did try out some matches. I wasn't crazy on the combat. And so I just said, whatever, I'm just going to turn it on. And I did. And you can't make me feel bad. We know we can't. I even skipped the story. I tried to stick with it, but there is so much dialogue.
Oh, so you'll skip a Zidalon, but you'll cheese this for no reason. Tisk.
No, there was a reason. A reason. I wanted to test it out. It looked fun. I like the aesthetics. And like I said, the story, like, you only play 8 days. Like, you choose when the day ends and all that. And I got through like a day or two, but like, there's so much dialogue. You are reading a lot. No voiceover to go with it. Just to throw some things, if you're going to take this on and do the completion, you can pretty much play the whole thing without worry. If the most worry that you'll have is the combat, and like we said, you can turn that off and make it as easy as you want. As long as you just do all the side quests as you get them, you won't have a problem. Before you end the day, like I said, it will warn you if there are any open side quests and that you will lose forever. So that's nice. You have a map. It's basically split into 4 or 5 sections. It's pretty small overall, and you can see the map, so you can see where all these battles take place, where all your side objectives are, and all that. So that's not an issue. There's a lot of going back and forth to different areas, so a lot of traversing that you have to do. The only thing I want to tell you about as far as missables go that kind of haven't been mentioned are that you need to collect all of the items. So these items come from like 3 places. 1, side quest. 2, there's a shop, so you earn money, and you have to buy everything in the shop. And if you're playing legit, you're going to want to look into that shop regularly anyways, because they do offer benefits to your character, more armor, more speed, or stuff like that. The other way to get items are these chests that Koosh talked about. Later on, some of these chests are locked. You have to get something to unlock them. And they're supposedly, according to the guides, is one that is missable that you can't get later. And it's right out in the open. So I would just look that achievement up. It's probably going to be one of the hardest achievements because it is buggy. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like this, but people are saying it's missable. There's only one that is missable. As long as you get that before you pass that section, you'll be okay. As long as you don't get everything before you finish the game. So after you complete day 8 and beat the story, you can go back in and wander around the map, do random battles, and kind of do that at your leisure. At that point is when I suggest you clean up. If you're playing legit, maybe you do want to look for some of those items. But if you unlock those chests as you go, and you happen to do them all before doing that last battle, people are saying that they're not unlocking. I kind of looked it up ahead of time and made sure I said, I'm not even going to open them. So I didn't until after I beat the story, and I didn't have a single problem. There's a video. Somebody went and got all of them. There's not a ton. Probably about a 9-minute video. Like I said, the map's not big, so it wasn't an issue to clean up.
Well,
otherwise, you're going to get every achievement besides maybe 2 or 3.
Well, I'll admit that I am downloading this game right now. I did notice...
It looks so good.
I did notice that it appears to be 2-player co-op. So maybe I'll...
no idea. I wouldn't think so, though.
In the store, it says 2 players.
It's possible.
I assume it's appropriate for the kiddies.
Well, dodgeball is 3 players, so I don't know how that works. But yes, it's appropriate for kids.
Yeah.
You're playing 3 on 3, not 2 on 2.
It's mostly appropriate.
It's 3 on 3. But you only can, at least in the way we played it, you only control one person at a time.
Yeah.
All right. I'll report back.
But the game was fun, but you can cheese it. To each their own.
Yeah, that explained. That was one of the things I noticed. I'm like, oh wow, Corey got all of the achievements. He completed the game. He did the S ranks, and then there's accessibility. So just that answers all the questions.
If you really want to know what went through my head, I saw the S ranks and I saw that people could cheese them. And I said, what if that's not intended? I'm going to get in while the getting's good.
Oh.
Get it done now.
Yeah, the thing with that though is you can turn them back on, and then you can enjoy the game. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just saying that.
Oh no, you're not going to do it. So.
I know. I'm not going to.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
I'm not trying to. I know
either.
I'm not going to. But yeah, for me, the game would be super boring. Like I would be bored out of my brain just playing it with taking no damage, because then there's like no challenge. Right. There's no reason to do the mechanic at all. It's like just
the game itself did become boring. Yeah. I turned it into fun by watching a show while this was on the side.
I was going to say you're watching Netflix, weren't you?
I was watching HBO Max and Practical Jokers.
Oh, okay.
Those Staten Island boys.
Yeah. So I think this game has everything. Like if you want to play the game, it's a fun game. If you don't want to play the game, you can turn the accessibility options all the way off or all the way up or however you want to call that, and skip most of the conversations, if not all, with the Y button, and you can just kind of fly through it, I guess. But
yeah, it still took me like 8 hours just to put that out there.
Ooh, that's longer. The TA's saying 5 to 6.
Oh, actually, TA. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it said 6 to 8.
It took me 8 hours 19 minutes apparently.
Oh, they've changed it since I had the page.
Yeah,
up.
It says 6 to 8.
Yeah, I refreshed it now. It's 6 to 8. So.
But yeah, see, I want to play the story without the accessibility. But like the S ranks, I'm absolutely going to put that stuff on.
Yeah, I had no problem.
I don't blame you for that.
What I'm curious to see is if the TA drops, because I just checked out Blood Roots. It's still over a 3. This is just right at a 3. Yeah. Both with accessibility modes. I have a feeling they're going to come to bite me come G-Test time, but it'll probably hold up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Dodgeball Academia.
That's that. Corey, tell me about The Ascent, because that was the 3rd game on my list.
I've already forgot about it.
Looking to play.
Yeah, so The Ascent.
Don't tell me that.
No, The Ascent.
So good.
I've been hearing so many good things about this game through other podcasts.
I've been super hyped on this.
And I am here to break it down because it needs a little bit of a pull to its push. The Ascent is made by a very small team of devs. I've heard 12 people. It is a really good game when you think about it like that. It's this isometric shooter RPG game, and it is co-op up to 4 people. The game, I've heard nothing but good things about single player. There are some buggy achievements, so I think the 2 have been marked as unobtainable. It happens to deal with filling your codex.
Eep.
I've been playing nothing but co-op. We've had 2 sessions so far, about 6 hours. It has been 6 of the most terrible hours that we've played since this group got together.
Oh, God.
Because of how buggy it is. Like, it started out fine. I hosted the game, invited my friends, and we played for a bit. And somebody crashed. That's not too uncommon. That happens. It happened to crash on an Xbox One where everybody else had Series X's. Not saying that's the cause, but it happened. That's fine. What we noticed and what was in the achievements was that there's an achievement that popped for me, but not for other people, and that was completing a side quest. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's a little buggy. We'll have somebody else host, and we did theirs. We let them get the side quest, and somehow that popped. But past that, we were not able to progress. We were able to shoot and kill and all that, but we were not able to progress. Come to find out, on the second session, it seems that progress is saved to the host. So now I'm going to have to be the one to host every time. It's not a huge deal, but it took a while to figure that out. It also means that if those guys play, I think even single player, they're stuck. Like I was saying, when somebody else was hosting it, we got the checkpoint to go somewhere, and the door never would open. Now, it only opened once I got back onto my save. And there's just some really funky things going on. At first, we thought it was a bug. Every single time we would start the game, it would show every tutorial. We eventually just turned that off in the settings, but so if there's something new we learn later on, we're just going to miss it. That was weird. Missions, nobody can see the missions except for the host. So that's really strange. We have a missions tab, but we can only see the active one. And even that doesn't appear on the map all the time. It does this. I'm trying to think of another game that does it. It just does some things I'm not a fan of. If we're trying to transition to a next area, sometimes it wants everybody there. Other times it will just pull you there. So it's very inconsistent.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm kind of just pooping on the game a lot just because I have not had.
Have you played it single player any?
No, because
okay.
I would have to make a new character.
Oh, yeah,
otherwise my team would get left behind because they would miss stuff. And so I haven't done that yet.
Of course.
Otherwise, the game is kind of fun. I like the isometric shooter part of it. It deals with cover. Like you can shoot high and shoot low. That's pretty cool. The aesthetics are really cool. One other thing that's bad is there is some kind of audio glitch, and it sounds like a helicopter's in your ear for the entire night because it's like a gun shooting. It's like the whole night, and that's not fun. So I don't know. They're pushing patches fairly frequently. The achievements aren't fixed, but and at least over 1 week's worth of patches, our multiplayer stuff was not fixed. The game takes forever to load, but I'm hopeful for it. It does have potential. I think it's an okay game if you play it by yourself, but if you're playing co-op, it's very, very buggy, unfortunately.
Well, that's a shame. Because, like I said, the game looked awesome ever since we saw the trailer for it. I don't even remember when it was, the E3 or whatever it was. Like, I've been very much excited for it. I just haven't had a real chance to get to it yet.
Yeah, we're kind of joking. Like, did anybody even play test the game? And I hate crapping on games that are made by a small team, but it really is a big feat that they made this kind of game. And it's just unfortunate that we encountered so many errors in so little time.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, we'll keep up with it. Now that we figured out that host is saved to one person, we don't have to struggle with that. We spent like an hour last session just trying to figure out why we couldn't do the game anymore. And it's really funny with Kronos. He's on Xbox One. Everybody else is on a Series. We load in so much faster, and then he sees things that we don't see. It's very weird. But I guess that's just the nature of the beast.
Well, okay then.
So yeah, I say wait on it. Unless you're going to just do it by yourself. Wait. Still unobtainables, but yeah.
Good to know. Al, what's your last game that you want to talk about?
That sounds terrible. I wanted to play The Ascent.
I mean, it does. Oh, the Ascent. I thought you were talking about your game.
Oh, my game sounds terrible also. Just for that, I'm going to talk about several games just to annoy Corey. No, I wanted to quickly say that I tried Space Jam with my kids. So that's a game you don't have to pay for, Corey. You happy now? And neat. And I wanted to say it was pretty fun with the 3 players. Because I think I think what you were saying is that if you stick a second controller on, then you won't get game overs. You just keep reviving. So
like you can save yourself.
Yeah, so we did the first few levels. A little repetitive, but it was fun playing with the kids. So that is a good time, but achievements do not pop for everyone. So anyway, moving on to our friends at Artifacts Mundi. Scarlet Mysteries Cursed Child. Just wanted to quickly give a shout out to my crew. Dude with the Face and Mental Knight and MDP and Michelle. We finished up yet another one. So this is the style of Artifacts Mundi that you don't have to go through twice. So we prefer this way better. You just go through once, because it used to be where you had to go through on easy and on hard. You don't have to do that. So you go through once, and you have a guide up for the collectibles, and then it's done. We always have a good time and good laughs with this. So just wanted to give a quick shout out. I haven't seen any of these on sale in a while, so I'm getting upset about this. I don't think anyone wants to pay $15 for any of these games.
I know I don't.
This one, Scarlet Mysteries, didn't really have the best story, and Mental Knight likes seeing the ghosts when there weren't enough ghosts. These are a lot of supernatural going on with these games. A lot of bad trips. So a lot of varied game going on. I'm going to check out this library of Ruina game, installing that too. Actually, we had a talk earlier in the Discord about the fact that it has 76 achievements.
Good God.
And Big L did not like that. And I was met with disparaging remarks for not wanting a bunch of low-score achievements. It's bad enough playing Ord and deal with all this nonsense. I don't know. I like a nice, concise list where you can remember what you have to go for and have TA open and see what you're missing. But 76 is too many.
More achievements better.
All right. Maybe I'm alone.
Just play the game. You're going to get like a bunch of random pops. And you're like, oh, cool. Oh,
exactly.
Cool.
Sometimes it covers over you want to actually pay attention to the game. You just see pops for days. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I like 30 or 40 achievements at most.
I think you like 10 achievements that pop within 5 minutes.
I don't like that.
I don't know. 2 of your 3 games do that.
No, stop it.
Hey, you're the one that was bringing zits and rats.
No, I did not.
And we were the ones bringing real games.
Oh, also...
You were talking about sticky balls in your game.
I hate how he does this, and I'm going to do it too. Just this one time. I'm going to pat Koosh's back and mine after his wonderful sale recommendation last week of Death's Door Windows 10 version at 0% off. Since last show, me and him both started and completed it. That's Death's Door for completions amongst the two of us.
Console commands.
So good.
Damn.
Not on this game, buddy.
Definitely cheated.
I need the Canadian stack. When the Canadian stack comes out, I will play it again.
It's very good.
Wow. Well, that's a sales recommendation if I've never heard any.
I think it has a different title there, like Syrup Hockey apology door.
Elle, do you have anything you would recommend that's on sale?
Not really, but I was gonna say that
Me neither.
that the Darksiders 3 season pass is on sale for $6, and the game with gold. It's games with gold now, so now's the time to do that if you're gonna do that. If you're into that.
It's not a bad recommendation. Corey, how about you?
Yeah, so I mentioned last month when Undermine left that I would be following it. And what do you know? It is on sale for half off, so that means it is $10. And the internet tells me that this is the first time it's gone on sale. If that's true, that's a good deal. So I might pick that up. We'll see.
All right.
Thanks, internet.
And besides Death's Door, what do you got, Nate?
Riddled Corpses EX. I know we've talked about it before, but it's $2. It's $2 down from 10. It's a shoot 'em up. It's one of those rare shoot 'em ups that Elle has finished that I have not. So I need to go back and do that. That's just for lack of attention to it and shinies and stuff.
Really liked that game.
Yeah, I know you
mentioned
really
that
like
a
the
lot
soundtrack.
of times. I like the soundtrack. Yes.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for what's the other one? Demons Tier Plus. Yeah, I keep waiting for that one to go on sale.
They have
Never
another
does.
one. Actually, it was on sale. At one point I bought it on sale.
Xena and Valkyrie's too freaking hard. That's like the opposite of what I want to play. But Demons Tier.
You just like it because of the developer.
Oh, the Demetrius developer
Makes the Dan Demetrius game.
No. I really. It's the same person did the soundtrack for Demons Tier. That's why
this
I
is your
it.
Devolver.
It's
if I have Devolver, you have Cowcat.
Moo Meow. They should just call it Moo Meow.
Yeah. All right. So, if you don't want to buy anything, we do have games with gold.
Yeah.
Up right now for download is Darksiders 3, like Elle mentioned, and Lost Planet 3.
Meh.
So, they're free. That's all that matters.
Free.
Game Pass. Like we said, Library of Ruina out right now. Another game that's out now to you people that are listening to it, not to you three, because you three are hearing me in the present, whereas everyone else is going to hear me in the future. Art of Rally. That will be out.
Now, Kenny,
and
this might actually be a relaxing game that you can play that doesn't have sticky balls.
Exactly. This one I'm very much looking forward to because it'll be relaxing and there will be no sticky balls. Nobody wants sticky balls.
Are you on a leather couch right now, Kenny?
No.
Oh.
Why would I sit on a couch and record?
I was wondering.
That would be silly.
I was wondering why you had sticky balls. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, out tomorrow, and when I say tomorrow, I mean for the listeners, not for you guys. So it's not tomorrow for you guys.
Tease.
Hades will be coming August 13th.
That is going to keep me so distracted for about 5 days.
5 minutes. Yeah,
I was just about to say, I assume in 1 week or in 5 days, you and Nate will be telling us all about Hades and how wonderful it is and how much we have to go play it like right meow.
I feel a cold coming on right meow.
Moo meow.
Well, what else is coming real soon for you, Nate?
Yeah, your transitions are something else today.
On Fleek, they don't say Fleek anymore. Coming real soon, Tuesday, August 17th, is Greek. Memories of Azure, I'm guessing. I don't know. This is a beautiful single-player adventure with hand-drawn animations. You will take the role of 3 siblings, Greek, Adara, and Raydell, to guide them through the lands of Azure, alternating control between them and using their unique abilities to escape from the Urlag invasion. Now, I just saw this recently, and luckily we were able to get a review copy, and I started it up and popped my first achievement, and I really like this game. It's got the art style of Rise and Shine, or a little bit of Ori, actually.
It gave me some Hollow Knight vibes.
Sorry. I was getting to that. It's also so it's the art style of Rise and Shine mixed with the puzzling of Trine, and the combat of Rise and Shine or Hollow Knight, because there are some projectiles, and definitely has a Hollow Knight vibe to it. And now that you mentioned it, yes, the art style, very much so. There's a control mechanic where you move your two, at least so far, two party members at the same time by holding in the left trigger. And when you do that and you're in a certain radius from that second person, they'll follow you while you're holding that trigger. And so you can do attacks, you can do jumps, you can climb ladders and things, and they'll just kind of puppet what you're doing. They'll copy what you're doing to get around the map. At other times, you want to let go of that button to leave them to stand on a button or be in a position in the room to solve a puzzle. So that's the kind of gameplay that you've got going on. It is beautiful. I'm very interested in this. I had no idea this was coming out, and I'm looking forward to hopefully streaming that this week and maybe giving some impressions next week.
Now, Nate, you said on Fleek. I think you meant to say on Greek.
Probably, yeah. Fleeks and Greeks, yeah.
I was looking at the achievement list, and I'm very disappointed that there's no, like, it's Greek to me or something like that. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Very generic list.
Yeah, I don't think their pun game is strong. I don't think that's where they're going.
My big fat Azur wedding.
Okay, not bad. My big flat fleek. Damn it.
Stop trying to make puns happen.
What about you, Elle? Is there anything coming real soon that you're interested in?
Yes. I'm checking out a game called Mayhem Brawler, and that comes out Wednesday, August 18th.
I'm not gonna play this. I got Allstate.
What?
That was bad.
You're in good hands with Allstate. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Mayhem. He's the
Is that an insurance thing?
Yeah.
I'm protected against Mayhem Brawler.
Okay, well, I don't know what that is. So Mayhem Brawler is a 3-player co-op game in the style of 90s beat-em-ups like Streets of Rage and Final Fight. Unfortunately, there's no online co-op that I know of, but it's got different endings. It's fully voice acted, and the music is supposed to be very good. Well, I might have to stream this one myself. Give Nate a run for his money.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I just wish it was online and I could play with peoples. But the art style is pretty cool. It's kind of like that cel-shaded thing that was hip for a while. But
I would say it looks like Streets of Rage 4.
yeah,
Like almost a carbon copy.
exactly, yeah. If it wasn't 3-player co-op, it would be very meh. But that's what, hopefully get a couple people over in. I doubt achievements would pop for everyone, but that would be the dream. And that is Mayhem Brawler. Don't like the generic name, but I guess it tells you what it is. It's a brawler with mayhem.
All right. Game I'm looking forward to, Thursday, August 19th, Monster Harvest. Now, we have all these games, and we're typically supposed to try to find our own game to talk about. Corey told me that I have to talk about this. And after I looked it up, I see why Corey told me to talk about this. This is if Pokemon and Stardew Valley had a love child.
Whoa.
Imagine Stardew Valley, and as you raise the crops, you can infuse the crops with the special slime that appears around the world. And when you do, it creates a monster. And that monster, you then go out and battle, and it's Pokemon. So it's this management game. It's you have like your own farm, so that you can like your farmhouse, you can decorate and make it the way you want it to be. So it kind of has like that Animal Crossing vibe to it. Yeah, this game looks great. This is a very FuFu game. I don't know if any of you will really have any interest in this, but this is very, very, very much a Kenny game that I am looking forward to.
All right. Also coming out on the same day, which happens to be Thursday, August 19th. It's 12 minutes. We're not talking about 12 minutes, but I have to legally tell you that that's coming out. I will be telling you about Recompile along with 12 minutes. Both of those are day one Game Pass. So there you go. That's going to be your week next week. Recompile.
Same time?
Same day, same time. Same bat time.
Maybe
So interested in 12 minutes.
Maybe Kenny can use his wing thing and play them both at the same time.
My what?
We are Comic Sans. We are not a wing.
You talking
podcast.
about his Red Bull that gives him wings?
I don't know. He was showing me his phone that had 2 screens on it. I thought he called it a.
Oh, my phone.
I thought he called it a wing.
Yeah, it is the wing.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, my phone. So I have 2 screens at once. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, your wing thing.
Back to the game. Recompile.
He's got a Power Ranger screensaver.
Recompile is
wallpaper.
an atmospheric Metroidvania, wink wink, hacking adventure that lets you control a semi-sapient program struggling against deletion. Sprawling 3D world that is a mainframe. It has intense combat, tight 3D platforming, and superpowered abilities. The whole game takes place within 1 second of real time. And it combines the Metroidvania progression. So it has non-linear exploration. But then it throws in challenges that want you to explore, fight, hack, and survive. There's multiple endings based off your actions. You can repair stuff, restore stuff, hack and destroy enemies. All while trying to fix the mainframe. It looks pretty cool. You're this little I guess I was going to say electronic dude, but you're just this little light dude. I'm not 100% sold on 3D platforming. I never am. So we'll see how that is. The fighting, it looks cool. The exploration looks cool. I like the kind of the inside of a computer kind of aesthetic. Games that inspired this game is Axiom Verge, Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Rhyme. So insert you son of a bitch I'm in meme here. Because this game is just oozes with stuff that Corey wants, at least from the description. So I will be checking it out day one on Game Pass. Recompile Thursday, August 19th, along with 12 minutes, because we have to do that. And that does it for coming real soon.
All right.
Please be sure to check those out.
Lots of good stuff on the horizon.
Too much good stuff.
August
just wait
is
till
insane.
the next month.
like Forza
or just
Horizon.
wait till the next week.
This month is insane.
Like
No, Forza Horizon is not this month.
Forza Horizon 5, they said the map is 50% bigger. Did we really want that? It's too big as it is, damn it.
It is pretty big. It's pretty big.
Speaking of too big, the Gamertag Challenge.
Thank you, Koosh.
There it is.
For the month of July. Wait, this isn't July. July. This is
Close
August.
enough.
For the month of August, it's Retro Chief 1969. The sheet needs to be updated. With the wild card game, any new achievement or previous completion in the aforementioned Forza series. 1 bonus draw max. And for the bonus, it belongs in a museum. Achievements with words meaning old, example old, ancient, retro, and that's 1 bonus draw per achievement, limit 1 draw per achievement. So if you have 2 old words and 1 achievement, it's still only worth 1. If you have any questions, go to the Gamertag Challenge channel and ask them there.
All right. Well, let's get to the last segment. Brag Camp. Take it away, Corey.
Hello, me again. For completions, we have LAB1. He has completed 150 games. Sir Polygon's at 400 completed games. And X the Hero is at 800 completed games.
Nice.
He made a goal to get under 400 installed games on his hard drive. So he's completed a lot of games this summer. He had a goal to do it before school started. And he said he made it with 2 weeks to spare. So GG's, buddy.
Good on ya. In ratio, Slayer Reigning has reached a new milestone of 1.5, Crazy Catman with the 1.7, and Wildwood Mike with a ratio of 2.3. That's unheard of.
Damn.
That's unheard of. In streaks, Elroy OMJ. We will circle back to him. Ace is currently on a 100-day achievement win streak. Chesno currently also on a 100-day achievement win streak. Cerebral Assassin is currently on a 200-day achievement win streak. Philip Wendell with 450. Waka with 2,850. Blue Thunder 7398 on a 3,000-day achievement win streak. And Big L with 3,150 days. And brand new, we've updated the sheet. Now we're telling you about years. Elroy OMG currently crossed the 4-year mark.
OMJ.
I thought he said J.
GIF, GIF. In gamer score, we're going to Kenny.
All right, in gamer score, Rubens X has reached a new milestone of 550,000 gamer score. Shadowless Edge, 600,000 gamer score. Raw Sauce Ross, 950,000 gamer score, almost that million. Slayer Rainey at 1.25 million gamer score. And Lucas, 1987, has hit 2.1 million gamer score. Crazy.
Holy kill, Lucas. You should start some art. In True Achievement score, the Alpha Seagull has 200,000. Toby Lynn, 400,000. Sincere Seeker 6, that's fun to say, has 500,000. Wildwood Mike, 600,000. Cerebral Assassin, 900,000. Red 047 has 1.5 million TA score. Rossos Ross, 1.6 million. And Yinga Garten, 2 million TA score. Very nice.
Nice.
In leaderboards, Ches knows in the top 500 of the England Gamerscore leaderboard. Wow. Very nice. Crazy Catman is in the top 100 of the TA leaderboard for Party. Ruatek is now in the top 100 of the TA leaderboard for turn-based. Infamous is in the top 10 of TA leaderboard for Battle Royale. Wow. Watch out, Waka. Jim Batu-UK is in the top 50 of the England completed games leaderboard. JJ6Y, I believe that's a new name, is now in the top 5 of the United Kingdom Gamerscore leaderboard for Party. Well, that is a thing. Lord of Dookie 69, best gamer tag ever, is in the top 200 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for RPGs. Mikkel KV is in the top 5 of the Slovakia TA leaderboard for Windows. Nightwolf is now in the top 100 of the TA leaderboard for Vayners. Rossos Ross is in the top 100 of the USA TA leaderboard for Xbox One. Red 047 is in the top 1,000 of the TA leaderboard for first-person shooters. Retro Chief 1969 is in the top 50 of the USA TA leaderboards for point-and-clicks. Almost done. Skeptical Mario's in the top 5 of the completed games leaderboard for Vayners. That is ridiculous, considering he was talking about all the games he does not have access to or does not have purchased yet. But he's in the top 5 already. What the Fug is in the top 10 of the Wisconsin TA leaderboards for being old and drinking beer. Open world.
Ow.
What? That's what else you got to do in Wisconsin? Root for that
Eat cheese.
Root for that prima donna Aaron Rodgers? No, thank you. In Brag Camp, which has been pretty...
You're just jealous your QB sucks.
I don't have a QB. I don't even know what we're talking about. In Brag Camp, which is my favorite thing, where people post their brags of the week in the Brag Camp channel, and there's a lot of impressive completions this week. Inigo Montoya completed Habruxia 2, which I believe was the topic of discussion for having a 100-point title update, where I think people are so used to seeing 1,000 G title updates that this confused people.
The dev just forgot to add a 0.
I guess so. But
easy mistake.
Yeah, I guess so. Nice job. Fista Roboto completed Crackdown 3. Very nice. I know all about that pain. Some people complain about the orbs. I like the orbs. I don't like the races. Those sucked. Toby Lynn completed Jurassic Park. She was saying that some of that was tough for her. Yeah, I remember that being kind of a pain.
It's not easy.
Remember I told you Shenmue brought QuickTime events into the world? Well, Jurassic Park took that and ran. Lots of QuickTime events. And some of them were very frustrating. But nice job. Aftos84 completed Rise, Son of Rome. I'm pretty sure he put some tips in there on how to grind the levels. So scroll up in there. Tech completed Dragon Quest XI and said it was a grind towards the end. He had, I think, like 80-something hours in that game. A little long in the tooth.
Really dragged on.
Oh, nice one. Beat me to it. Speaking of dragging on, Heizo completed Lies of Astaroth. That's quite a feat.
Damn.
Yeah, that's something he's been plugging away at forever. Oh, and he goes back on the list. He completed State of Decay 2. And Wild West 08 completed GTA 5. Nicely done.
Also, damn, nice one.
And in some...
I know that is not an easy one.
No, I think with the service going down, he was talking about heists, and he got those done. And in real important news, Fluttery Chicken had a baby boy, or I guess more.
Hey, congratulations!
Damn.
I guess more probable his wife did, but yeah, baby boy.
He's now the owner of a baby boy.
Yes. He showed a cute picture. So congratulations to him. And to all of our listeners, I hope you like getting your names read. This is what happens with the trimmed list. So, yeah. Congrats to you all.
All right. Well, that will do it for us. Be sure to keep listening to the extra content we got coming up.
Something with Elroy, I'm sure.
Elroy or Chewie or something.
Yeah, some guys.
It's Abandonment
There's a lot of content
Issues this week.
I didn't want to say it just in case it didn't.
Well, if Abandonment
in
Issues
case it didn't make
does
it.
not immediately follow, you can all yell at Chewie on ice.
Chewie.
So this is very true. Tag him lots of times. It was his job to edit. All right, but with that,
one job.
as always, follow us and sub to us on Twitch. You can get that free sub on Twitch if you have with your Amazon Prime. That's what I'm trying to say. Send us your Twitter tweets on the Twitter at Achievements101. Join in on the conversation. You can post your brags of the week in the Brag Camp channel, discord.io/AH101. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please. youtube.com/achievementhunting101. And if you enjoyed the show and you can support us monetarily, please check out the patreon.com/achievementhunting101. We would greatly appreciate that. But with that, class is dismissed. See you all next week.
Later, skater.
Alligator.
Bye now.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of VCCCW. I am one half of I'm the V in this combination, and joining us for a third of the C's is Chewie on Ice. How you doing today, Chewie?
I am very, very well. I'm very excited to talk about what we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Can you hear the excitement?
The excitement is
Tangible.
radiating out of every single decibel of your commentary right now.
Yeah, I mean, people often say that I have kind of a monotone voice, but as you can see right now, the excitement is giving me fluctuation.
Palpitations. That's enough of our salutations. Let's go over what happened in July.
Yeah, so the big event, the main event in July, was a do-over of our main event last July. We brought back the Royal Rumble themed event, which was actually devised originally by Mr. J. Black, and we named it the Rumble in the Jablungle. And this was the Rumble in the Jablungle 2 Electric
Jablugaloo?
Got it? I got it. And it was bigger, and some might say better, others might say different.
Jablacker?
And we went from, like, I don't know, 30 participants last year to pretty much every single person in the entire Discord this year. So we had 142 participants. About 5 or 6 people entered the ring each day throughout the month. And that wasn't just people in the Discord. That included special guest appearances from the biggest and brightest stars of Xbox and achievement hunting.
Oh, yeah.
We had people like Maka, Bills, Dalian, Smirnov. We also had some really cool guests. We had one guest who actually joined us in the Discord as a result of the event, because I did message all of these people and most of them ignored me. But one of them, as I mentioned last month, was Cripple Threat, who is a America's Got Talent finalist. And very funny guy. He joined us in the Discord and was bantering with the best of them. Also, I threw in Major Nelson just for the lols. I don't know. Didn't expect him to score much, but I feel like every Royal Rumble there's like a special celebrity guest. Didn't Drew Carey do it once?
Yes, Drew Carey did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like Major Nelson would be this our Drew Carey at the event.
Yes.
But yeah, so every day we had 5 or 6 people enter. We had a different scoring category from Gamerscore, TA, TAD, ratio, and achievements won. And there was a hidden cutoff, and if anyone didn't make that cutoff, they were out of there. I kept the cutoff secret, but I did keep telling people it was low. Despite the fact it was low, people were scoring crazy numbers.
Yes.
Even from the very beginning.
Yeah, I don't know how far back behind the curtain we want to peel, but yeah, it was, by low, it was like, wasn't it like 500? You know.
I mean, when people were saying it's probably 3,000 gamer score, I was thinking it's more like 300, but
yeah.
You know, whatever. As it was, though, you know, we had with so many people, quite a lot of people just weren't scoring anyway. They were, you know, casual participants, and all it took was to have one day when you just didn't score very much and you were gone. Now, you know, that accounts for the vast majority of people. But then amongst those, there were some real triers, let's say. And I should probably shout out X the Hero and Death Dealers, who joined the contest early on, but managed to last for weeks between them. X took the Iron Man title early on, and then after he was eliminated, Death Dealers took it from him a few days later. And we also saw the return of the Eliminator target. So this was something that came in because although there was a lot of natural attrition, we couldn't let the ring get too crowded, just because by the end of the event we had to have, you know, just a few people left. So I had to start a cull. And the Eliminator target allowed people to kind of overscore to a silly degree if they really wanted to see someone eliminated. And it wasn't a safety line. It was a line that said, I'm going to send someone home today. The problem was, it didn't matter what line I set it to. Pretty much everyone went for it.
Yeah, every single time. Yeah.
Every single time. And it got to the point where we went from like 20 people in the ring to 5, simply because people just kept pushing that eliminator target. You know, I could say, hey, today earn 20,000 gamer score, and, you know, 5 or 6 people would do it without even thinking. Yeah. And I guess that just highlights how crazy it is, even this year compared to last year, with the availability of score at people's fingertips, you know, and you kind of assume people have done everything that's available at this point, but there's always more. It did lead to some controversial eliminations, did it not, Mr. Vulgar Latin?
I am salty. I am hurt. I am thoroughly disappointed, and my day was ruined.
Yeah. I think you probably speak to a few people there. I know X was upset with his elimination. He was consistently scoring highly, and then was eliminated on what he calls a technicality. I mean, I just call it a rule.
The eliminator line was not a safety line. So yeah, he beat the eliminator line, but more people beat the eliminator line than...
On some days, everyone made the eliminator line, but then because everyone did, half of the pool had to be eliminated. It was just crazy.
Yes. My one day that I had in, it was, I think 10,000 was the eliminator line. I scored 8,800, and that was not enough. So...
Yeah, you would expect, you know, on a daily scoring contest throughout an entire month, that scoring 8,000 gamer score in one day should be enough to keep you safe. Especially when the cutoff probably at that point was 800.
Yeah, it probably wasn't much at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was exciting. It was thrilling. We had a lot of banter going on in the channel, and that was really great to see. Some very funny moments. Some pretty horrifying moments as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. And our champion, Chesno, was the last to enter. He earned that right by being the champ. Didn't help very much because he lasted a day. And we ended up with our final four.
Yeah, we had a Mental Knight, Northern Lass, Inferno, and Hatton 90.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, Hatton held his own for a few days. And then on the very final day, just lay down and didn't score anything.
He knew. He knew.
Yeah. And Mental Knight, Northern Lass, they'd been scoring very, very high score as well, but they just couldn't stand up in the face of just the craziness that was Inferno.
He went ablaze. He lit the whole thing up. Fire puns.
He literally lit the whole thing up. Every time there was an eliminator, he was the top of that eliminator line. He actually entered the ring on the 9th of the month, so he was actually one of the earliest people in the ring, and he managed to last all of the way through, all the way to the end, and take the prize. And that's just crazy to me. I wasn't expecting to have who was it that went in the real Royal Rumble and lasted the whole way through?
There's
Rey Mysterio.
Well,
Rey Mysterio?
There's two people that did it. One they like to sweep under the rug, but the other is Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting anyone to go in on day one and last all the way through, but day 9 all the way to the end is pretty impressive, lasting through literally hundreds of other competitors. So I think Inferno is a deserving winner, and he is our new champ.
Yeah, congratulations. Well, that's not the only thing we did. We also went on X's Extra Space Race. A little bit about that. That was a kind of crazy competition where we took the game size on TA and we times it by the TA that each participant earned in that specific game. And we went out into space.
Yeah, so it didn't start like that. Originally, it was just, game size TA, yada, yada, yada. And, it was fun because the score was in the millions just to see those numbers. And then I think it was Skeptical Mario in his, amazing brain went to, well, we could just turn this into miles from the sun and make it a real space race. And it just lined up perfectly.
It was awesome. Yeah, we had, looks like 48 participants. For 10.5 billion, that's with a B, miles altogether, in 1,500 different games. You've listed out Conan, Nier Automata, Master Chief Collection, and Quantum Break. I actually used Master Chief Collection and Quantum Break to full effect.
Yeah, well, those 4 were some of the highest earning across the month because at least Conan and Quantum Break, they are relatively short games, especially Conan, and they are big, meaty games as well. If you did a 100 gigabyte game, you didn't have to actually earn all that much to get millions of points. So anyone who did Conan pretty much swept the board. And then Nier Automata was another one that a few people did that was a really high scorer. And then, Master Chief Collection.
That was my ace in the hole. And then a lot of Call of Duties was what I did, because a lot of those Call of Duties are massive.
And the good thing about converting it into space miles was obviously we could race for the ultimate win, although it was very clear early on that there were some front runners there. But what it allowed us to do was to have kind of mini milestones. So, people who weren't going to win were still able to say, like, my goal is to get past Venus, or I'm going to make it to Earth, or I want to get past Mars. And that's a really cool thing, I thought, to have these kind of mini milestones along the way. But, out of the 48 people, there were some who really managed to get really far ahead there and kind of making it past Jupiter, so making it past the kind of 500 million mark. We had Waka, Dubdi23, and then making it past Saturn, which was kind of 890 million, we had Mr. Vulgar Latin.
Yay!
So you made it to 934 million miles. And then out in front, almost the entire month, the guy who started it all, the guy whose idea it is, as you might expect, was making a really big push, and that was X the Hero. Not only was he pushing it really hard in the Royal Rumble, scoring big numbers, but he was also looking at those big games. And he managed to get 1.2 billion score in the space race by the end. But he was pipped to the post in the last few days of the month by Mr. Triple Triad 777, who managed to get 1.3 billion. which is only 500 million away from getting to Uranus. Only. So it was a really popular event, and I want to say thanks to X for coming up with the initial idea, which was a really kind of cool twist on scoring, and then Mario for kind of adding in this space theme on top of it. And I think people really latched onto it. And we've already agreed that what we're going to do is we're going to kind of leave it running just to see how far we can get by the end of the year, if we can bust out of the solar system.
Yeah, get out to Voyager.
I mean, it would be crazy. And there's also something that off the back of this idea that I think Mario is kind of formulating as a possible cooperative event, space themed, that we're hoping to run next year. But more on that probably towards the end of this year.
Nice. And it looks like there's also a tag team event.
And it looks like it. It does look like it.
And Vayner Summer also is going on.
No. No. So Mr. Chesno and Mr. Freaky Row tag team champions, the sole tag team champions as of last month when they unified the belts, they challenged a new tag team. Who was that new tag team?
Is me and Noth.
Yeah. Railbait Noth. You've broken away from the Horsemen. You've made your own partnership, and you kind of laid you had some fighting words, I think.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. The world's out to get us, but your flawed numbers, and I'm calling the powers that be. I have evidence about this, and you'll hear from it soon. But soon.
No, I look. All four of you scored big numbers. Okay?
It was
big numbers.
I kid. Actually, all four of us did really, really high numbers for the month.
It was TA was the name of the game, and Chesno and Freaky managed to get 93 and 94,000 TA. So it was going to be a tough thing for you guys to beat that 187, nearly 188,000 TA between them. But you did pretty well. You did pretty good. Noth got 81, nearly 82,000, and you got
76.
76. So you were the weak link. Let's be honest, of the whole thing. You
That was, but with 76,000 TA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's not. Yeah. Yeah. And you as a team, you managed to get 150, nearly 158,000, which is very, very impressive. It just wasn't enough.
Nope. Those Ni no Kuni games in Minecraft didn't have it. Couldn't do it.
But is this the last we'll see of this partnership, or do you think?
I think we have more. We've been recruiting, and you might be hearing more in the future of our plans.
Sounds ominous. Yeah, and we can move on now officially to the Vayner Summer. So, as you're probably aware, we've been running this since June. We've had the first 2 months, and then we've got August and September as well. And that's the most TA in the Vayner genre, with a bonus applied if you complete any Vayner games. Now, Awu has led this pretty much from the beginning with his Malulala completions, but he's just extended his lead by a significant margin. So he finished the final stack of Malulana 2, I think it was, but he also did Feudal Alloy, Iconoclasts, Monster Sanctuary, Cryogear, and then recompleted Cold Silence when that new DLC dropped. So he's got 8 completions and over 32,000 TA earned in the last 2 months. Just in that one genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's winning by some way.
It's a mountain to climb, but Skeptical Mario looks like he's in second. He's got a little bit to catch him. I believe in you, man. You got this.
Yeah. It's never happening, but still impressive numbers. And Awu, is just storming ahead.
I give his performance a 0.5.
And that is everything I think we had going on in July, and now we can move on to August. And oh boy, have we got some stuff for August.
August is looking pretty epic.
So originally the main event for August was going to be a kind of a merging of two worlds. So back at the end of last year, we had the Backlog Blitz, where we asked people to go back to their backlogs, and we applied a multiplier based on how old the games were on their tags.
One of my favorites.
It was very popular. And then recently on TA, we had the Jake Jump, which was something that immediately followed the Bean Dive. And again, it encouraged people to go back to their older games, but it had a slightly different scoring mechanism. It was based on when you last played the game. And again, you had a multiplier based on how old that was. This year was 1 point, last year 2 points, the year before 3 points, blah, blah, blah. However, as soon as you earned one achievement, that multiplier dropped straight down to 1. So every subsequent achievement you earned in the same game was just worth 1 point.
Yeah.
Interesting, but maybe not in the real spirit of busting those backlogs, because it really only encouraged you to just little scratch away at those older games without actually digging deeper.
Or just earn 1 point achievements.
Well, or, also you could just earn achievements from games you started this year, which again wasn't really truly in the spirit of things. In fact, I think I completed my Jake Jump by bean diving. Right, I was still bean diving. I bean dived over 40 games, and I completed my Jake Jump.
I got over 300 points in the event, and I never got I think I only got one time it was above 1 point.
It was an interesting experiment, let's say, but we thought we could maybe take the two ideas, Backlog Blitz and Jake Jump, and smoosh them together and create something that would kind of jump off the back, literally jump off the back of Jake Jump, and kind of encourage people to go that little bit further into their backlogs in something that we're calling the Backlog Bounce. What we're asking people to do is to go back to those old games. We're looking at when you started the games, much like Backlog Blitz, and we're going to apply that multiplier, but it's going to be based on achievements like Jake Jump. And the multiplier, instead of going to 1, it actually increases.
It's progressive.
Yes. So if you were to go back and play a game from 5 years ago and you earned one achievement, you would get 5 points. And if you were to earn a second achievement, that achievement would be worth 6 points. And then a third achievement, well, that achievement is going to be worth 7 points. So just by earning those 3 achievements, you'll have earned 5 plus 6 plus 7 points. And it just keeps going. It keeps going and going and going.
To 20.
Up to 20.
Yeah.
So if you earned if you earned 20 achievements in one game, that increase is going to increase. It's going to stack and stack and stack and stack and stack. If you earn 21 achievements, it's going to be the same score as the previous one, added on and then added on and added on. So it's not like it goes down. It doesn't go back to 1. It doesn't go to 0. It just flattens out. It stays at that level. Also, though, we want to encourage you to complete those old games. So if you earn a completion in those games, you also earn the equivalent of another achievement on that total.
Yep.
Go dig out those old games and dig deep into them. That's what we want to see. We want to see you digging out some old game that you dived 10 years ago and haven't gone back to, and knock out 50 achievements, and then you'll be laughing.
Yep, that's the name of the game. Yeah, there's things that you dove or just had 1 or 2 achievements, and then the older they are, the better.
And there is a spreadsheet. There is a spreadsheet coming. I've been working on it. It's been complicated to get all the formulas running and working as they should. And also we ran into a few issues with pulling the data, which I'm sure most people listening are probably aware of now. We don't need to go into a huge amount of detail on this here segment, but needless to say, those issues are now sorted, and we are scanning and scraping with our full capacity.
Yep.
Now, Backlog Bounce was going to be the main event.
Yes.
It always was. And then I got a message from Mr. EOJ, who is a long-standing community member, but someone who kind of operated in the background. And he was really keen to put forward an idea for his own little event, which he was calling the Raid Boss Battle. And this thing has just taken us by storm.
You mean our beloved Lord and Savior Zidalika, who everyone is rebelling against?
Oh yeah, I forget you're a healer.
So we have a monster. My new benevolent Lord, Zidalika, whose power and toughness is based on the number of Rattaleikas and Zidilon games we have completed. I, being a devout follower of both brands, have contributed a lot of health, and some other folks have too. Essentially, every one of your completions, if you try, will take down his health. But if you decide to take a taste of the dark side and complete more Rattaleikas and Zidilon games, why, you will heal Zidileka.
Yeah, I think there's 60 people in this, so 60 people who signed up prior to the event starting, and all of their completions in those games created Zidileka.
Yeah.
And gave him about, I think it was 3,000 hit points formed of all of those completions. And then any completions we get in the month that are not from that stable of games will help damage him with increasing ratio games giving more damage. So if you complete a 3 ratio game, you'll knock off a chunk of health. But yes, if you continue to complete those bad games, you will be buffing the beast, as it were.
Run from it, hide from it. He will come all the same. He will destroy you all. You only exist because he allows it. He is going to take down all of you. There's nothing you can do. But I guess if you really want to try, you can try completing hard games or something. But we'll be laughing in front of the flames. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a close run thing based on where we are in the month now and how close we are. And actually, he's been making an appearance in the Discord.
Yes.
And channel hopping as well. So look out for Zidileka with his various put downs.
He is a clever, benevolent lord and master. I am humbled and honored to serve as an adherent.
You're just a traitorous sumbitch, aren't you? Yeah, so those are, side by side, we've got Backlog Bounce and EOJ's Raid Boss Battle. And the good thing about these two events is that they do work together. So imagine, if you will, a situation where you go back and you find an old game and you earn a whole load of achievements in it for Backlog Bounce, and then you complete it for a nice tasty ratio in order to bring down Zidileka. They work together.
Or you have a title update in a game that you haven't done yet, and you do all those title updates, and then you heal him.
So I'm currently sitting on pretty much all of the recent wave of title updates. So everything that's been title updated in the last 2 months, I have not touched because I knew this was coming. So I am primed to be a healer should I choose to.
It's, we have
but
cookies.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, the dark side is full of many things that some might consider to be unnatural, like cookies.
And the final event is a little something that also came from our community, Triple Triad, who is, would you say it's celebrating, recognizing, acknowledging the fact that we are all who are at school going back to school in August, mostly in America, and in September in the UK. With something he's called the Back to School Bash. And he's asking people to get their education kick-started by playing some education and trivia games, earning gamer score in those games in August and September. And whoever earns the most might find themselves with a little prize donated by Triple Triad at the end of it.
You get edumacated.
Get edumacated. See, now I'm triple stacking these events because I'm a clever sausage.
Oh.
And I'm pulling out Mensa Academy and Sesame Street Once Upon a Monster, and I'm aiming to complete these games, which have been long standing on my tag, so I can get some backlog bounce points, some raid boss battle damage, and some education and trivia score in the Back to School Bash.
That's how you do it. You just got to keep stacking them up. All right, and then I think we also have some yearly things to keep up with before we say our goodbyes. So, looks like in the, and I always have to count this out, there's more C's. Oh no, they're multiplying. Oh, the C's. That one. So our top 3 have remained unchanged. So we got Jester, Stan, and EOJ have completed more games than they've started. Jester is holding on with 47 points, stands at 33, EOJ's at 31. And then dive season kind of hit some people pretty hard. Oh boy. Yeah, so looks like Chewie, Jimbot, and Icefire are minus 100. And with the lowest of the low, Northern Lights is at minus 213, and Dude with the Face with minus 310.
Yeah, I was doing so well in this. I was in the positives before dives hit, yeah, and then I decided to dive 100 games, and that just destroyed me. There's quite a lot of negatives on the table here, but I'm really impressed that people have been holding on strong and staying in the positive in spite of all that.
Yeah, it's been tough. I've been trying to turn things around, but I'm at negative 41, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
So what I'm looking forward to seeing at the end of the year is that Mental Knight has unequivocally stated he is going to win this.
Yes.
Now, he currently sits at minus 88, so he has a big hole to climb out of, not just to get to 0, just to get to even, let alone beating Jester's nearly currently 50 positive points. So it'll be interesting to see if he holds true to that statement.
You know, if it was anyone else, I would doubt them.
This is mental we're talking about.
It is.
In the Year of the Assassin, there hasn't been... I'm quite disappointed, actually, this month, because there hasn't been a huge amount of progress in Year of the Assassin. Now, literally 5 minutes before recording this, and it's probably why I was 15 minutes late today, I completed the story in Syndicate. So I've been making my progress. I'm a month late on what I planned to complete it in, because I was hoping to do Unity, Syndicate, Origins, and Odyssey back to back, basically. But to do that, I think I don't know if that's going to be possible at this stage, because I know Origins and Odyssey are big games. So I might instead, after now completing Syndicate, pivot to one of the Chronicles games and then just do Origins for the back half of the year. But Syndicate was fun. I enjoyed that. It's a fun little... It goes back to the not taking itself too seriously approach of the Ezio games, with the kind of roguish, fun, silly kind of protagonists.
And the grapple hook.
And the grapple hook it makes climbing things so quick, so much better. I don't mind scrambling up a building, but, when you need a quick escape or you need to get to the top of somewhere quickly, grapple hook is great fun.
Get to go like Batman up a building.
I wasn't the only one to do something. Terra also completed the Brotherhood story, and he did the Da Vinci DLC, so he did the 100% sync on those that the DLC added as well, which I know is a tricky one for some people. I think pretty much all he's got left now is the multiplayer in that game. I say only, that's Brotherhood is the worst, so good luck with that if you plan to complete that, Terra. And then Neo, after completing the story last time, has now completely finished, 100%ed the remastered version of 3, which ticks that one off our list. That is now done, and that only leaves us with Valhalla and Chronicles Russia to unlock our prize pool, which is an exciting thing. Just over halfway through the year.
Yep, and I believe if we did want to complete literally everything, I think there's also another version of Rogue. If we did,
so Rogue remastered, if we wanted to, plus Pirates. If anyone wants to complete the Pirates games,
go for it. Yeah, so just do Pirates and that Rogue remastered, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, weirdly enough, though, Neo, having spent countless hours, I'd imagine, going from Liberation to then the Liberation version in remastered, then the entirety of 3 remastered, has now started the story of 3, the 360 version. It's like you can't get enough of that game.
Which you can't. I don't even think you can complete it anymore because the multiplayer died.
Well, it did, yeah. And it's I admire the dedication to in the Colonial America 3, but there are other games out there to play.
There were better ones.
Better ones. So as well as those completions, I did notice that quite a few people had got together and done a boost of Revelations recently, because a whole load of people completed I think it's the Mediterranean something, Traveler's Pack or something in Revelations. So that's also knocked out some of the DLC packs if people want to win most DLC completions.
Those are quickies.
Finally, goal getter update. So we've talked about everything that happened in July, and there was some big scoring going on. And one of those big scorers in both the Rumble and Space Race was Mr. X the Hero. And probably unsurprisingly, that put him in the top spot by some way on the goal getter. So he led on a bunch of the different scoring categories. But nipping at his heels was...
me, baby.
Yeah, so you also scored big. I mean, your tag team, I guess, helped push you on that one.
Yep. Diddle Untitled updates. Couldn't have done it without it. Probably, literally.
And similarly, Chesno scored. Chesno nearly got 1,000 achievements in 1 month. In fact, Chesno pretty much almost led on every single category. What pulled him down into third place was simply because he had such an awful ratio. His 1.25 ratio dragged him down. So X managed to score very highly, but also maintain a high ratio, well, relatively high, of 1.74, which helped him secure that top spot. So, X, yourself, and Chesno leading the way there. So if you take the month scoring from Goalgetter and add that into the previous 6 months, it shakes up the leaderboard somewhat.
Yep, looks like Jimbot had a quieter month, I'll say. He still did fairly well, but because he did, Mental Knight has jumped into first, so it's still pretty close at the top. Mental's only leading by 23 points. Jimbot's in second. And I could always come out of the woodwork there. I'm right there at third.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how close the top is. There's 150 separating the top kind of 5 people, and that's out of over 1,500 across the 6 months. So if somebody has a bad month, then the whole thing can change.
Yeah, it's still very much anyone's game. If you finish strong across all categories for the last 4 months, there's no doubt in my mind you could still take this thing.
I always try and finish strong.
I always finish crying.
Okay, TMI. And I think with that shocking revelation, I think we are done. So join us next month to find out whether we managed to bring down Zutalika and how we did in our backlogs, and what we have in store for September.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Oh, yeah!
What's up, everybody? X the Hero coming back at you with another episode of Abandonment Issues, except I'm doing it a little bit different this time. I have 2 esteemed colleagues joining me today, the first of whom is more Scottish than our Scottish Wookiee. Alex, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing really well, and I am indeed a quarter Scottish, not that you'd know from my accent.
Also joining me is the myth, the man, the Iron Man of 2020, Triple Triad.
Hey,
how's it going?
What's up? Hanging in here. Another day in paradise.
This is your first podcast appearance, is it not?
Oh, yep.
All right. Well, we'll ease you in gently, I suppose. You guys remember how Abandonment Issue goes, since you're here. Issues, plural. I only said one. Just to remind the listeners real quick, we went to each other's cards and found games that were abandoned. Either close to completion, not close to completion, somewhere in the middle. Just games that were abandoned. And we don't know what games the others have picked for us. That's the key here. So we're kind of being put on the spot, and hopefully there's a good story to tell, much better than, oh, well, the Student Achievement Factory did that for me. So that was my Elroy impression. That was probably pretty obvious, right? Let's start off on something that hits, well, a little close to home. Alex, imagine it's March 2020.
Oh, that's a bad time.
That was a very bad time. The least of all our concerns, of course, a global pandemic, no big deal, which gave me some inspiration to go back to a certain game that clearly you didn't have the same inspiration for. So I'm, of course, talking about
Plague Inc.
Plague Inc. Evolved. You already knew it. Yup, Plague Inc. Evolved. You are chilling at 108 out of 184 achievements for 925 out of 1740 gamer score. with a pitiful 43 hours put into the game. Why'd you abandon it, my man?
Well, because I do love it to bits, and I have played it a whole ton. First on Steam, and then on Android, and then on Xbox. And I must have put in about 150 hours, and I'll admit, sort of, at that point, I feel like I've played all the scenarios, and I've had a great amount of fun doing different strategies. And I've now got to the point where if I actually want to progress in new ways in the game, I'm either just doing easy scenarios I've already done on another platform, or I'm doing RNG and sort of make a save, play for a month, nope, reload the... So why did I abandon it? Well, I'm surprised I haven't played it in a year, to be honest. And I think actually I might have, I just haven't earned achievements.
Okay, yeah, it looks like your most recent unlock was last December 2020.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you were saying March 2020. I was thinking I must have played it since March.
Oh, no, that was just the teaser to see if you could figure out the game
Right.
by bringing up a plague, yeah.
Yeah, because I still have it installed on my Xbox. I still play it from time to time.
Okay.
And like I said, I've got it on my phone and on my PC as well. So, no, it is a fantastic game, and anyone who has not had enough of plagues and viruses should boot it up.
All right. So less so abandoned and more just, I've had enough on one platform. I respect that.
Yeah, I've got other games where sort of I still play them, but I don't necessarily play the modes that will get me the achievements, you know.
Okay, that kind of makes you an outcast in this particular community.
I know, but you're so welcoming anyway.
I respect that nonetheless.
Oh, thank you. I feel so seen.
So, I actually, when I saw this game on your card, it stood out to me for a couple reasons. Mostly because you're a pretty decent completionist. You got a pretty good completion percentage. And a lot of the achievements here are just super easy ones that you could do with pretty minimal effort, all things considered. So it just seemed strange that you would let, this one go, of all the games to sort of abandon.
No, it's a good question. With me, if I can see my way to completing the game, then I'll be pretty hardcore about completing it. But if I know I'm not going to do all the achievements, I'm happy to let the easier ones go. And in this case, I just don't have the inclination to do the RNG again for some of the more painful ones.
Okay.
No personal accomplishment attached with doing anything extra on Plague Inc. for me because I've done it all somewhere.
But that means you should be a pro at doing it then. So you should get it done it says 60 to 80 hours for completion. You should have it already done at 40.
Yeah, right? You should be able to do this with your eyes closed.
Try saying that to Vulgar with his poker games or something.
This game, it stood out to me on your card for two reasons.
Yes.
So the first was just because it seemed strange to abandon, blah, blah, blah. We got that figured. The second one is because Triple and I we're DMing we're at the same spot in this game. We've done all the achievements except for the scenarios where you have to get 3 stars with every plague.
Yeah.
And those that's keeping a lot of people from the completion. So, speaking personally, if this was selected for me, I wouldn't have a good story because it hasn't been abandoned. Just I'm not doing that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of effort for each individual achievement, isn't it?
Right, yeah, and with the title updates, it actually makes those achievements harder, because the original, it's in the base 1,000, you just had to do it with the original, 6 or 7 plagues, and now they've added the simian flu, which is damn near impossible, and the vampire update, you have to do it with those, too, and those are tough, so, is that why you kind of left it behind, too, Triple? It's just not worth the effort?
Yep, of course, because, even what Alex said, when you have to, get it perfect, the first month of the virus or whatever, otherwise you just have to restart. It's just kind of mind-numbing at that point, just having to just go over and over, and then you get 2 out of 3 of the biohazards, and it's what the heck? You did everything that you could, and it's all determined on how fast that the virus infects everybody. That's about it.
And stupid Iceland. I love Iceland, but not in this game. I will say, probably in bad taste, but it makes me smile. In March 2020, I did go back to this game just for the lulz, I suppose you would say, and made COVID-19 and deliberately, made it horrible and on easy mode. And so I got the screen. It was my wallpaper for a while. COVID-19 has eradicated humanity.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I originally started the game in February of 2020, right around that time.
That's very fitting. That worked out quite nicely, actually. I'm glad you remember your story because, pneumonic plague can never be forgotten to begin with anyway. So, that was a pun. Elroy would have gotten it. No, he wouldn't have. Elroy doesn't laugh at my jokes anymore. But like I always tell my students, don't forget that plagiarism will always get you a 0 HP and grade. Man, you guys are a tough crowd. All right, this one's for Noth. What do you call an Irishman with the plague? A leprechaun.
Oh.
Okay, my God, I'm done. So, Alex, I asked you. We'll just go right in a circle. Alex, what game have you got for Triple? It's your turn to talk.
I have a whole set of games for Triple, but the one I particularly want to ask him about is Bioshock. So, Bioshock, one of the most rated games of all time. Everybody talks about it. You booted this up, you played it a whole bunch, you haven't touched it since 2016, and you've still got a third of the achievements left. How dare you show your face in the gaming community?
Well, so I started the first Bioshock, I don't even remember when. And then another contest, Bean Die or something came up, so then I started the Xbox One version. And I got to I don't even remember what chapter. And then I was like, yeah, okay. And then another contest started, so I started the Bioshock German version, and then I got to the and just kept playing it, and then I was like, I just keep starting the Bioshock games but never get around to actually completing them or even finishing the story, because I'm just like, oh, there's another Bioshock game to start. So
30 achievements in the first one, and then 20 achievements in the remaster, and then 10 achievements in the German version. It's sort of each time you're trying, and each time you'll give up even sooner.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, alright.
How do you actually feel about the game?
Well, it's a great game. I'm just have a short attention span. I think that's the case with all my games. Either I complete them or I don't. So it's one or the other. And then I'd always start it, and then I realize, oh shoot, I have to go through and do another playthrough just to pick up all the collectibles if I want to complete it. So I'm like, that just kind of puts me off of the game, because I'm like, I got to play through it again, and then I got this other version to play through, and I have to play through that again, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
I think what intrigued me the most was that you went out of your way to buy the German stack.
Yes.
And then didn't even play that. The ratio on the stacks are so low just because people buy them to complete games that they know they can do.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is I got that with a bundle of other games as well, so...
So you just had it chilling around?
I just had it chilling around, so I was like, might as well start it. Just throw it on the list. So I might get back to it one of these days.
That's what I was just going to say. So is this one abandoned for good, or are you going to give it its worth?
Oh, I'll give it a go at some point in the near future, late future, someday. Depending on if it comes up in another event or contest or something like that.
Of course, all about the contest.
Or I might leave it around for another 10 years so that way it comes up on that Jake Jump contest that's going on.
There you go. I will say that, unlike Elroy, I never skip cutscenes. But the story, it's usually just okay, whatever, that was a video game story, time to move on. That one was so well written. I feel like most people have played it at this point, but anyone who hasn't, just stick it on easy mode. Don't bother with, don't worry about the collectibles. Just go through the game. It is told very well. I won't spoil the story or anything for you, but you'll know the part and you'll be like, what?
I'm pretty sure I completed the story on the first, the 360 version.
You might have got pretty close, but there's a couple of story achievements that you don't have.
It looks like you made it to the twist and then stopped.
Yeah.
And then didn't see the payoff of 15, 20 hours.
I think I ended it because it came up on Ultimate Head-to-Head, and that's why I had to play and get to the point where you harvest every little sister. Okay. So then that's why I stopped then.
So you got the achievement you needed and then moved right back on.
Yep.
Well, that's a shame. I would hope that you don't completely abandon this one. It's definitely worth going back to. And I think probably everyone who has played it would agree. I actually don't have any Bioshock puns. I will say, do yourself a favor, listeners, and just look up Biosloth, like the animal sloth. Somebody just photoshopped a sloth's head onto Booker from the third one, and it's good for a laugh. All right. Well, we'll just keep going in the circle. So, Mr. Triple Triad, what have you got for me?
All right. So, I'm sure many people know that I love Lego games through and through. Completed every one of them, played all of them to I don't even know how many hours. And they always stick close to my heart. But Lego Marvel Superheroes, that's all I gotta say. What happened?
As soon as you said Lego, I was like, oh, it's that one.
You started it in 2014, so when it first came out, and then you came back to it in 2020, because I imagine for the Lego competition, and then you just haven't even played it since. You didn't even play it for this year's Lego contest. So, I mean, what's going on?
All right, so that's actually a really good pick. There's sort of like two stories wrapped up in one here. So April 2014, very shortly after the launch of Xbox One, I decided to sign up for GameFly. And I was just putting all the new games in it because, GameFly, and I don't have, a backlog of 500 games anymore, or at that point in time. So, Lego Marvel Superheroes. I'd never played a Lego game? No, that's not true. I think I played Lego Batman before that. But I wasn't, I didn't know the series. So I played it, and I'm looking at my achievements. I got through the first, it looks like 3 levels.
You got to 5. Completed.
Yeah, okay, yep. I got through level 5. I did a couple miscellaneous achievements because I was a fledgling achievement hunter. But if you look at the date, that was April 29th, and my GameFly was up at the end of the month, so I sent it in, sent it back, and that was that. Just never came back to it because it didn't hook me. I guess I didn't quite get the appeal of the Lego games at that point. I love them now. They're nice, chill, relaxing. You just go and play a couple levels, and that's it. But I wasn't on board with it at that point in time. So that was that. Never went back to it. Fast forward to last year, Kelsey and I were stuck at home because of, that whole Plague Inc. thing. And we'd played a couple other Lego games just to pass time. They're nice, easy, for us to go through. She likes them because we can do split-screen co-op. They're not hard. So we fired this one up. And we played the whole thing over. I was like, I'm not going to start you on Mission 5. So we started over. We played through the entire game. And then we're like, let's do the cleanup, because, that's what you do in Lego games, is do the cleanup. And there was one race, perhaps you know which one I'm talking about. You have to fly through the rings from the helicarrier all the way through town. It's like a 5-minute race. And I just decided, let me start with this one, get the hard one out of the way. And this was before they added X and Y flying controls to the games. You can literally only steer left and right, and then you have to go up and down by accelerating or decelerating with A and B. You can't use the right stick to aim yourself like in the modern ones, like a plane or whatever. And it was horrible. I was raging, I was cursing, I was about to throw my controller, and then Kelsey's just, let's stop, that's it, I'm not having fun anymore, you're not having fun anymore, that's it. And we haven't gone back, and I haven't gone back, and that's that. I think my wife saved me from a broken controller, is why I have abandoned that game.
Makes sense. That flying race was, I don't even know. Words can't describe it.
It's rough, especially because I went backwards. We did Marvel Superheroes and Jurassic World, where they do have the updated flight controls, and then going backwards to that old system was, I think it probably made it worse because I just had expectations for this is how a Lego game should play, and it just wasn't there. That was bad. That was really bad. I do still have it installed, so if Kels is not willing to fire it up for fear of hearing me yell and scream and curse, I might just clean up some of the miscellaneous achievements. I know there's a couple bonus levels I could do, and just get the most I can out of it without having to do those stupid races. But yeah, that's that one. Abandoned twice, I guess. As soon as you said Legos, it's either that one or
the Batman 3.
Lego Movie Video Game 2, or Batman 3. It was one of those ones. I actually, random tangent, I only fired up Batman 3 because I used it for my Million Gamer Score milestone. True hero, because I'm X the hero. And then I did a couple more levels, and that's my Lego history. I believe I own every single Lego game with the exception of Japanese Batman stack. When I'm scrolling through my game backlog, the L section, it's just 5 rows of Lego games at this point. So I will get them all eventually.
What about Lego Rock Band? You gotta do that one too.
Oh, I don't have that one. I forgot about that one. You know what's interesting? I am dreadful at Guitar Hero and Rock Band. And I can't figure it out. I play real-life guitar, but I cannot get the video game controllers down.
Did you ever try the Pro Instruments on Rock Band 3?
No, actually, my entire Guitar Hero, I think I played 3 Metallica and Aerosmith, maybe? I was trying desperately to use the controller because I wanted to so badly, and I couldn't get it. So every achievement I have, minus probably the first 2 or 3, was actually done on my controller.
Wow.
Dang.
I forget what it was. It was from left to right, I think. Left trigger, left bumper, right trigger, and then the A button. And I was fine with that, but I couldn't do it on the guitar. Yeah, that was a good one, though. I know I keep making promises that I'm going to go back to my abandoned games, but I think I will probably try and wrap up Marvel Superheroes at some point.
I think we all say that.
So, yeah, of course we all say that. Although, quick update here, I'll just throw it in, because last time we did this segment with me, Chew, and Elroy, I was given Spy Chameleon for my now infamous rage rating of 0.5 out of 5 stars because I was bad at the game. I did go back to it, and I'm keeping my rating intact. I said this in chat a few days ago, if anyone saw. I think you were there, right, Alex? But if you play in hard mode, which I did, because of course the achievements were for playing in hard mode, I made it to probably 3/4 of the way through the game, and then hard mode just got too hard. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll just switch to normal mode and get what I can. Except it starts you back at level 1. So hard mode, I have like levels 1 through 45. But then normal, it starts me at level 1, and I could not be bothered to play through 45 levels in the easier version of what I'd already beaten. So that was that. 0.5 sticks. There's my update on Spy Chameleon. Don't play that game. It's an awful game. All right, so that was my first one. We'll keep the same order. So, Triple, you are throwing it right back in Alex's face. What do you got for him?
All right,
I'm
Alex.
excited for this one, actually. I'm hoping you got a good story for us, man.
So, this game, it's like one of the like defining games of Xbox. Like, so many people just in 2008 were like, you know what? It's around Halloween time. It's time for Left 4 Dead. So what happened? You're
happened?
all over the place in this game. You started it in like 2009, and then you played some offline, and then you go and play it in like March of 2020, then May of 2020, then December of 2020, July of 2020. You're just jumping all over the place in this game. So I want to hear the story behind this.
I mean, the fundamental story is relatively simple. I started playing Left 4 Dead when I still lived at home with my little brother. And it's a co-op game, so we play it together. And that's initially why I played it. I'm not actually really a shooter guy. I sort of like the story-driven shooters like Halo, especially if they have a great soundtrack like Halo. But otherwise, I don't tend to play shooters too much. And I played this because it was something that I could enjoy with my little brother. Then I moved out, and it is definitely a great game, but the only real reason I've come back to it since has been contests and the like, really. Done the occasional boosting session just to try and tidy it up a bit, but my heart's not really been in it. It's not my kind of game. I played it for family.
So you have no hard feelings about just abandoning this poor game?
Not really. No, I might jump in if there's, the right crew going through in co-op and why not kind of thing. But I didn't play it for me.
You're an admirable dude. That's twice now I've said that in a 20-minute segment. All right. I have not played that game. I'm, of course, familiar with it because early Xbox, everyone knows Left 4 Dead. But yeah, my understanding is that the completion, you have to be good. You have to have like a dedicated crew and be in on it. So if you were just playing with little brother,
yeah,
I'm not too terribly surprised to see you left off where you did.
And this was also before I had any interest whatsoever in achievements. Obviously, some of the things happened in 2020. That's exactly what I was playing to get my low-hanging fruit off solo. But playing with my little brother, there was none of that. We just wanted to do the campaign.
Also, 2020 seems like a fitting time to play a zombie game because, what's good? Is this the zombie apocalypse? Like, is this the end of times? So that was a good time to go back to it.
I am excited to see how they do with Back 4 Blood. The concept of feeling a bit hunted and having them sort of tailor the enemies to you, and not in the kind of way that makes you feel empowered and awesome, but in the kind of way that makes you feel a little bit overwhelmed, while leaving the possibility of awesomeness, intangibly out of reach. It's a wonderful concept for a game, and the sound design around it is amazing in terms of just being able to hear some of those enemies in the distance and get properly creeped out because you remember what happened the last time you stumbled across a witch.
Just that description is giving me horrible flashbacks to Dark Souls. You go in feeling like a badass, and then you realize, nope, everything's out to get you here.
So imagine they tweaked Dark Souls so that instead of just sort of being Dark Souls with the enemies where they are and predetermined and dodgeable,
there was this manic AI director in there who would manipulate the enemy spawns specifically with the intention of discerning your ability level and moving half a step up. That's Left 4 Dead at its best.
That's Left 4 Dead. So you hear that, Foof? It's a lot like Doom.
Yeah, and like with Left 4 Dead, like you go around a corner and then there's just a witch right in the middle of the hallway, and you're like, what do you do? When she starts screaming, then all the other enemies come piling in. It's like, well, that's that.
I actually tended to be fine with the witches unless they put them literally on top of an objective, because it's really a quick thinking kind of thing. Even if you've got a flashlight on, you've got a few moments after you've looked at the witch to look away quickly. And it's only if you stare at her and you're then paralysed in fear, and so you just keep staring, that she actually triggers. That, or you have a stupid AI teammate with you, or, dare I say, a stupid little brother with you.
Stupid human teammate. All right, so you have shamelessly abandoned it, but not opposed to going back, I guess.
I probably not. Like, I might go back to Back 4 Blood as the spiritual successor when it eventually releases.
I am familiar with that. Is that made by a lot of the same crew?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Triple, I'm just going to get straight to the point here. Looking at your list, there's one that actually there were two that stood out to me. One of them was the Swapper, just because you stopped with 3 puzzles left, but that's not what I'm talking about here. So the one I picked, you don't really have to be particularly sharp to complete it, to be honest. So I'm surprised that you left it abandoned. I will say I love the game. I don't have it completed either, but I have much more than you. There really was never a dull moment in the story. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that it was a knife-changing experience, but Agatha Knife, man, what are you doing?
Man, I was thinking the entire day, I'm like, this game, he's going to say something about it. Well, I kind of started it because it had a lot of easy achievements in it, and I think it was for I don't even remember what contest it was, but you need a large achievement count, and you can get quite a few at the very beginning. So I think that's the reason why I just started it, and then I kept going back to it to dip a little more. And I think with this game, it's the same way with BioShock. You have to play through it a second time, I think, just to get a few other achievements. And then I just was there's so many other games to play, so I just don't really want to have to play through another game 2 times, unless it's something I really enjoy. And then on your point about the Swapper and my defense on that, all the achievements start.
All right, let's hear it.
With simple letters
oh, the Roman numerals.
So I was saving them for the X's and stuff, and then the I's I was using for I can't. There was that one contest where you go from one letter to the next, and I think I was just using it with that.
That's a fair answer, actually. I'm glad I still got the outcome on that. Yeah, Agatha Knife, you started it just last September 2020. You got 1 achievement on the 14th, and then 2 on the 15th, and then 3 on the 16th, and then 4 on the 19th, and then oddly 5 on the 21st.
Oh, you know what?
No, sorry, and then 7 on the 21st. So was that a leapfrog thing going on?
That was it.
Okay.
I remembered it was for a contest, but I couldn't remember which one.
Okay, yeah, so you just fired that up last year. That's another one I would say, if you have any interest in point-and-click games, not just for you, for anyone, it's worth playing through and actually reading the dialogue. Elroy, I think you got your 1,000 and probably don't even know the main girl's name is Agatha, man. But the story is quite out there. I would definitely give it a recommendation. And I would also say, Triple, since you mentioned it needs 2 playthroughs, if you follow the guide on TA as I did, you'll end up with all but 1 achievement for not spending any money. But what kind of pissed me off is after you beat the game, you didn't actually need to use any of the things that you bought with the money spent. So you get the achievements for buying the items, and then you can just reload your save because you don't need it. So you actually can get the full 1,000 in 1 playthrough if you save scum a little bit, and that's not mentioned anywhere in the walkthrough, but I remember finishing well, what the hell, I still have these things, I never used them, that's frustrating. And as much as I like the game, I was not doing another entire playthrough for 1 75-point achievement.
Yeah, that's the reason why I kind of backed off of it, because I was having to play through the game all over again just for 175G is just not appealing to me.
Yeah, depending on how far you got, I don't remember the order, you might still be able to get them both if you were to go back to it. So, are you calling this one unabandoned? You'll try it. You'll give it another shot, or are you?
I'll probably give it another shot just because you're calling me out on it.
That seems to be how this works for Elroy and Chewie, because every time I call them out on this segment, they go and finish the games, and here's me. Nope, nope, nope. Spy Chameleon sucks. Nope, nope, nope. But yeah, I would highly recommend it, just to plug it a little bit. Basically, you are Agatha Knife, the character's name, and you decide to create a religion because you love animals, but you also love eating meat. So you try to figure out a way to make the animals happy to die so that you can eat them. And you get that pretty much in the first, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes of the game. So it's definitely a very dark humor kind of story.
And it's made by the same people who made Mechanica as well. That one was pretty funny too.
Yeah, sort of that same, for anyone who's played that one. That one's a much quicker completion. It's just sort of the very dark humor. Nika actually pops up in Agatha Knife and vice versa. So the games are very much connected. But when I was looking up information on this game, I messed up in Google and I just typed in knife. And did you guys see the actress that stabbed her husband?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon, except it was with a knife.
It was Reese Witherspoon, but where'd the knife come in, right? But look, you're stealing my jokes from me. What the heck?
Hey.
Okay. All right. Story time, though. My mom is. I say story time. You guys know it's not story time. My mom is terrified of just all rodents. Like, I wanted a true story, actually. I did want like a hamster or like a gerbil growing up. She wanted nothing to do with it. There would be no rodents in her household. And when I was like 6 or 7, she actually pulled a knife on one and got us kicked right out of Disney World. It was the weirdest thing.
Wait, she pulled a knife on a rat in Disney World?
Oh, not Mickey Mouse.
That's the joke, man. Mickey Mouse.
Oh, right.
And also, this one's so dumb. I had to look this one up. The other two I knew. This one I looked up because I felt like I needed a third to complete the weird trinity. So did you hear they actually just released the world's first Wi-Fi chef knife?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's straight cutting-edge technology.
How nice.
Yeah, that's all I got for knife puns. So, last but not least, Alex, what have you got for me?
I was going to ask about Star Wars The Force Unleashed, because that's very much a story-driven game. And it's one where you didn't quite get to the end of it, I think, that you picked up back in 2008 when achievement Little Twinkle in Bill Gates' Little Eye. And so you may just not have been doing the thing there, but yeah, what's the deal with Star Wars The Force Unleashed?
You know what, actually, there is probably a little bit of a story. Quite nostalgic, actually. So 2008, that was like late 2008. But that was in between my senior year of high school, my last year for you British people, and then my first year of college. So I was about 2 weeks into my freshman year, and I was all like, okay, no video games. Like, I got to commit. And, well, let's be honest, freshman year of college is a joke. You're taking all your gen eds and everything. And I had so much time. Like, this is amazing. Like, I've never had this much free time in my life. I'm going to go buy a new game. What game is coming out? I went into GameStop back in the olden days. I was pretty close with 2 of the employees there. And I was like, hey, what should I pre-order? Like, oh, well, Star Wars is coming out. Now, if there's any regulars, you'll know I've never seen a Star Wars movie. I've never played a Star Wars game. And they're like, oh, yeah, it has nothing, like, it's just action game. You'll like it. Okay, I took their word for it. Pre-ordered it. It came with some little, I couldn't even tell you what character, action figures, like a pre-order bonus, which I still have to this day, pristine in the cardboard, with the plastic bubble. It's probably worth less than its weight in plastic, but maybe someday that's my retirement right there. Star Wars Force Unleashed plastic guy. But I got the game when it came out, and I think I'm looking at my stuff here. I played through it pretty damn quick. I started it September 16th.
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah, and I was done with it September 18th. I did complete the game. I didn't know at the time what I know now, is that you can just pull up the last checkpoint. Spoiler alert, but the game's 13 years old, guys. There's a light ending and a dark ending.
What, really? In Star
Wars? And you can
Wars?
just reload that checkpoint. Yeah, right? You can just reload that checkpoint and do the opposite ending. And looking, I did not do that. That's a nice, easy 20 gamer score waiting for me just for loading up that checkpoint. But that was it. I just rushed through it in 3 days and felt like, yeah, I got my money's worth. That was great. I just played through a whole game in 3 days in college. I'm so cool. And then here's where the abandonment comes in. I very promptly went right back to GameStop and traded it back in, probably within a week of release, and put it towards my pre-order for Mirror's Edge, which came out
brilliant game.
a couple months later. That's my story. That one was just sort of not quite in my achievement hunter days. I played through, I did the story. I actually did go back and get like a couple miscellaneous achievements. I completed the game, and then I went back and grinded out, killing 35 droids. I did the training room. I killed 100 enemies with one of my skills and 100 enemies with another one of my skills. So, I mean, obviously the achievement mindset was there, just not that completionist, not the, I'm going to go do a second playthrough. I'm going to go do, all the other. That was that. I got my money's worth in 3 days, and they probably... Realistically, a brand new game, I probably got, $25, $30 trade-in for it?
When I was looking through your games for this, you tend to beat the story. You don't necessarily do the second, third, fourth playthroughs. You say, I'm getting a game, I'm going to play the game, I'm going to see the story, I'm going to, walk through every inch of every level once.
Yeah, that's sort of always been my philosophy, even before I had a huge backlog, is it's not worth my time to just spend the time doing it a second time, because I've already done it. I can have a new experience. So yeah, same thing, like even just with Agatha Knife, like I loved the game once. This one, I loved it once.
And I've noticed with your games as well, I was looking through, and you just avoid multiplayer like the plague.
I freaking hate multiplayer.
Like, there's like Far Cry 4, I think. You only have like 3 achievements left, and 2 of them are for like riding in a car with the co-op partner and liberating an outpost with a co-op partner. You just don't want to do it.
I just don't want to do it. I'm generally antisocial, which I like. I like podcasting, but I don't like putting my hobby of gaming with people. I always tell my students when they're like, oh, what do you play? What do you play? I'm like, not with you. is my go-to. Like, I deal with you little bastards all day. The last thing I want to do is go home and deal with more little bastards in my ears. So I'm just going to stick to myself.
Do any of them know about this podcast?
If they do, no one has said anything.
Okay, kids, this is your homework for next week.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I've shared my name a couple times. It wouldn't be hard to make the link, but no, I keep my gamer tag on lockdown.
Yeah.
I know Elroy's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Mr. Jason Kelly. My gamer tag's Elroy OMJ. Add me. Here's my password. Play games for me. Like... I have an Xbox in my closet. Don't want to do your homework? Go play some rats for me. But, yeah, no, not me. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast. If I have, whatever, I'll tell it again because it's quick. Back in my daily substitute days, there's this one awful, annoying 7th grader. I can say his name is Sammy, but obviously can't share last name. Sammy was just obsessed because I played games. He's like, what's your gamer tag? I'm obviously not telling you. What's your gamer tag? I'm obviously not telling you. I got a message one day. Hey, Mr. G, what's up? It's Sammy. You want to play? I'm like, oh my god, how did you find me? That's the only gamer tag change I've ever had. I used to just be EXE67 because 67 is my lucky number, and then I changed to X to Hero. This is back in 2012 or 13. So turns out he went to my Facebook page, which was facebook.com/EXE67, and he just used my Facebook URL and searched gamertag and found me.
That's industrious and alarming.
I'm like, that's actually super clever of the kid, but okay.
Yeah, like if he then proceeded to do that for his high school crushes, I think some of them would have been a little bit creeped out.
Right? Watch him. He's going to end up working for like the FBI or CIA for like information gathering someday.
So when I was a teacher, one of my kids attempted to stalk me by, back in the day, looking me up in the phone book, literally.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this would have been 2008. So she went through the phone book to try and find me, and she did find an A. Davies in a nearby town, but it wasn't me. It was a call from my father the next day saying he'd been phoned in the middle of the night by a teenage girl who thought
that's actually hilarious. I never had that. That was it. I talked to him the next day. Sammy, honestly, you are making me very uncomfortable.
Yep.
That's called stalking, which he didn't know was a thing. And it cost me $10 because I had to change my tag for privacy purposes.
Yes.
And he apologized and seemed remorseful. And I think it was 7th grader, like, oh, cool teacher, and oh, I messed up, and okay, like.
Yeah.
So that was that. You know what I will say to bring everything full circle? I did get the sequel on Games with Gold. And I actually called Chewie out for not having finished the sequel to that, Force Unleashed 2. And it is on my shortlist, which honestly my shortlist is like 100 games, so it defeats the purpose of a shortlist. But I do have nothing but fond memories of the first one, abandoned, done, whatever you want to call it, and I do plan on playing the sequel. I actually even bought the DLC for it. Like I'm committed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll fire that one up in August once I'm done with my space race. Yeah, I don't have access to the first one anymore, and I don't think I'm going to buy it and go back to it, because I'll just play the sequel. Well, thank you for joining me, my esteemed colleagues.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Having us, it's been good fun.
I suppose the only thing left to do now is maybe something like top 3 things hanging in my bedroom right now. Hammock full of stuffed pandas, panda painted canvas poster, and panda glow-in-the-dark puzzle that I glued and hung up on my... Thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.
Hello everyone, I'm Waka, not shying away from easy completions, but I very much don't like this trend of contentless title updates which only add another quick 1000 game score. Dillyframe Games recently added 2 of these title updates to their Yankee open world puzzle games Sokobunny and Bunny Parking, which are $6 each or can be bought in a bundle for $10. By early 2020 standards, these were considered quick game score, with the 1000 game score completion estimates around 2 to 3 hours each. The additional 1000 game score title updates only adds minutes to the completion. I like these games, but I wouldn't call them good. The game design is very unorthodox. You play as anthropomorphic bunnies solving puzzles in a designated puzzle area. However, most of the achievements are tied to the surrounding open world, which is densely packed with weirdness. The game's control like low-budget, slightly unfinished 3D platformers, but it is rarely an issue as there's very little precision required to progress through the game, even if the flimsy collision detection and unpredictable physics can be slightly annoying. Sokobunny features tons of Sokobun puzzles, where you rearrange crates in a warehouse to get them into designated spots, but you only have to play a fraction of the puzzles to unlock all achievements. Bunny Parking sees you trying to kick a car through a parking lot, rearranging cars in your path from the entrance to the exit of the parking lot. Like most of the game, getting the car through the parking lot makes little sense, as it would have been way faster to just drive around it. Like Sokobunny, you only need to complete a fraction of the puzzles to get the completion. Sokobunny's achievement list doesn't really outstay its welcome. Bunny Parking, however, has a rather crappy achievement for kicking 1000 different cars, which will take a while after getting all of the other achievements. Both games features working achievement tracking, but you will need a guide to figure out some of the secret achievements, as you're very unlikely to unlock them without knowing what to do. Right now, Bunny Parking has 30 achievements worth 2000 game score and 3000 TA. Sokobunny has 34 achievements worth 2000 game score and 2600 TA, but I'm sure the ratios will drop over time. Sokobunny and Bunny Parking are not great by any means, but they offer a fun evening or two with a few what is happening, what is this game moments. I would not be surprised if they get another few, aside from game score, pointless title updates. Great for those who want quick, easy and cheap game score. Personally, I hope Microsoft steps in and at least require new content for these title updates. Have a nice day everyone.